But listen, you guys know what time it is. It's Culture Cams. This is FTBL culture. You know, listen, last week we did this 2000 strikers draft. And you know what that was like. You know what I mean? Some of you guys were saying you're too young for the... You guys are saying, oh, you're too young for the 2000s. So it's time to give you guys the 2010s.
They were saying, look at Tony who?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They were surprised. But of course, I'm with Lee as usual.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into this one, man. It's going to be good, man. Because you know what? Arguably, this striking list is levels of the other list as well. So
I was looking at the names, bro. I would say there's an argument that
there's an argument with better than
it could be that there's a better pool of strikers in this 2010s than 2000s.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, there was a couple people that we actually missed out on the last one. I end up seeing him in Munich in Roy Mackay.
Of course,
that was unreal. Like we had talked about him afterwards. Like, yo, we forgot a name, and then I end up seeing him in Munich. It was crazy. I said to him as well. I said to him, bro, I capped. I had to cap, you know. I said to him, yo, you know, I just did a video on 2000 strikers and we gave you your credit. You gave me your flowers.
You're foul, man. He probably thought you're my first fan.
Yo, I capped, man. I had to cap.
You let him
But
down.
anyway, yeah, all right, cool. Let's get into this one.
Absolutely.
Let me let you know who the names are on this list first and foremost.
Let's go through some of the names.
Okay, so guys,
let me make sure that it's showing as well, because I know last time that was an issue.
Yeah.
But, yo, we got him this time.
So listen, the names that we have decided to put: Van Persie, Suarez, Benzema, Lewandowski, Giroud, Higuain, Cavani, Ibrahimovic, Dzeko, Aguero, Costa, Kane, Falcao, Tevez, Big Rom, and Aubameyang. I think that is a crazy list, you know.
Hard, bro. That I'm telling you, that names, right? There might have been better highs in the 2000s, right? Because you had Henry, you had R9, despite okay, it wasn't at his best, but here, bro, I can't really see one name like before where you could have said, oh, Trezeguet, anyone he goes up against, he's probably gonna lose. Look at Tony, the same, bro. There's some big hitters on this list, bro.
Yeah, 100%. People are saying Lukaku. How can you laugh at Lukaku? What in the 2000s done a thing? People behave, man. We're not putting Cristiano Ronaldo up in here first and foremost. Like, that's just a waste.
It is a waste, but also these guys, this for us was out and out number 9s, and you can make the argument that at some points, especially the latter point of Ronaldo's career, he was playing on his own up front. But look, we're talking about number 9s, line leading 9s. I don't think he falls in that category.
Yeah. It's literally no point to put Cristiano in. And what kind of debate would it be if we were separating Cristiano and Messi from each other? It just doesn't feel right, does it? So
shout out also some notable mentions, because I see some people bring up some names. Shout out to Mandzukic. He was, for me, a little unlucky not to make it. Huntelaar, I think he was a bit unlucky. Jamie Vardy. But you know what? Like I said, this is the big 16.
I get it. Like some of Lukaku's best work did come in the 2020s.
Lukaku. Yeah, that league title with Inter was 2021, I believe, actually. But yo, look, I mean, he has over 100 goals in the Premier League, but he still did his thing.
And he has what? How many goals for Belgium?
Yeah, I think he's their top scorer ever. I mean, I'm sure you guys could make the argument that Jamie Vardy over Lukaku should have been on this. I see someone saying Rooney. It was kind of like the same thing as he a second striker, did his best work coming to the 2010s. All debatable, but I'm happy with the 16 that we chose. What about you?
Yeah. Listen, Jamie Vardy, ain't nobody know him outside of England, man. Let's not say.
Let's not be disrespectful. No, I mean, you're not wrong. You didn't have to say it.
Let's keep it 100. Like nobody's thinking about Jamie Vardy outside England. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those ones. Let's keep it local. He's domestically well, but hey, we ain't throwing him in there.
Absolutely.
But, all right, cool.
Let's do it this way too. I was thinking, because before I think I was just like kind of pressing them randomly. I'll let you spin it once, and I'll spin it once, and that'll be how we do it.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'll give you the first spin as the host.
Cool. All right. So what do I do? Where do I press?
Just press the middle button. It'll do its work.
All right. Cool. Boom. Let's go.
Oh. The first name off the board is Edin Dzeko.
Dzeko.
Talk about him for sure.
Real goal scorer, man. Everywhere he goes, he scores goals.
Absolutely. And he will be up against... Man, you know you're a good dude.
You're a good dude, man. You're a good dude.
Hold on. This is what we'll do. So, Edin Dzeko versus Karim the Dream.
Listen, I think that's lit. You know what we do, even when there's gonna be a wash, you know what I'm saying? Even when there's gonna be a wash, what we do is we make sure that we still give the person the flowers.
Absolutely.
Because we're basically talking about the 16 best strikers of a generation. And you think about what a generation is. There's millions of strikers pretty much, you know what I'm trying to say? So what would you say about Edin Dzeko?
This is what I would say about Edin Dzeko. I believe you think of like the most underrated names, the underrated players of his generation. I think obviously of Di Maria. I think of Sergio Busquets, even though some people might say, oh, people rate him properly. But Edin Dzeko, for me, belongs on that pedestal. I started back from the beginning. And I was actually just talking about it the other day on Twitter. Edin Dzeko for Wolfsburg, delivering Wolfsburg the league title. And guys, look, I understand that at that point, the Bundesliga was not the strongest league it was. Like Bayern were actually suffering in the late 2000s. But Wolfsburg came out of nowhere. And it was him and Graffisch, if you remember those two up front, bro. They had this crazy partnership where their goals went towards 82% of Wolfsburg's goals on that season. They were the best attacking duo statistically in Europe, and that included Messi and Eto'o. It included Raul and Higuain, Ronaldo and Rooney, everyone. They combined for the most goals in Europe. He then goes on to City, where look, he's not the first Galactico signing they made. That was probably Carlos Tevez. Probably not the biggest one they made, but the thing with Dzeko at Manchester City that kind of went to encapsulate his whole career was that he was always a little forgotten, but he always made himself accountable. I remember when he scored 4 goals against Spurs. The same day, actually, we beat Arsenal 8-2, and he kind of got put in the shadows, but he even came out and said, look, I don't want to be called a super sub. I believe I'm one of the best strikers in the league. Everyone talks about the Aguero moment, but that Aguero moment doesn't come without Edin Dzeko equalizing in the 91st minute. So all throughout his career, he's had big moments. He goes on to Roma, amazing for them. Goes on to Inter, still scoring goals at his late age, even brings Bosnia to a World Cup. So when it comes to Dzeko, I believe this is one of the most underappreciated, underrated players of his generation. I think he's great.
No, I agree. And the thing, as you mentioned, bro, he scores goals wherever. And remember, he was the reason the Aguero moment doesn't happen without Edin Dzeko scoring, equalizing to make it 2-2, I believe. So listen, he's a hitter. And that was always somebody that once he left Man City and started touring around, I was like, that's the signing for Man United, in my opinion.
It's
true. I
think
that was a signing that we should have went and grabbed, and I think he would have scored goals for as long as we needed him. We tried to find so many stopgaps in Cavani's and all these guys. I think Dzeko was there ready to be snapped up. I always looked at him and thought maybe Chelsea could do with him as well.
It's true.
But
one thing about Dzeko as well, right? I think he was one of the first strikers I really looked at in terms of that size, but that was so technically gifted. Dzeko could hit you with left foot, right foot, header, could hold up the ball. I thought he was a really well-rounded striker, and I think he was the first of many that we would go on to see in 2010s. Because 2000s, you see a lot of poachers, you see a lot of foxes in the boxes. 2010s, I think you'll see a lot of these names, guys, more all-around nines. And I think Dzeko was one of the first to really make his name in there.
I mean, there seems to be some... when it comes to Karim Benzema, I feel like there's some sort of... People seem to think because he's gotten into probably another level in the 2020s, people seem to think that Benzema was a nobody in the 2010s, which I completely disagree. He was basically scoring over 20 goals every single season. We know about how good he is as an all-round football player. So is it because of goals, him not scoring 40 a season, that you disregard him as a player? Because then... Why do you rate Wayne Rooney?
It's true.
Do you know, then people talk about his 5-goal season, then why do you rate Eden Hazard?
It's true.
Because he went a year without scoring.
That's true.
So it seems to be that Benzema seems to get stained with this 5-goal season, which of course he wasn't at his best in that season. However, he always scores goals. He always was there. He didn't score over 50 goals in the Champions League before the 2020s if he's some scrub. He was always destined to be one of the all-time scorers in Champions League history.
Only one man has more goals for Real Madrid all-time than him. The most prestigious, biggest club in football, only one man has scored more than him. It's the best goal scorer of all time. And it tells you something.
It seems to be that people seem to think it's easy that you could play for Real Madrid for that long. You can't play for Real Madrid for that long unless you are a top level player.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm trying to say? And for me, I love the way Benzema plays the game, the way he controls the ball, the way he dribbles, the way everyone just talks about sacrifice, but it was more than that. The guy was not just sacrificing, he was aiding the team, bro. You know what I mean? He was an important part of that team. So it's absolutely crazy that people seem to think that, oh yeah, 2017-18, he scored 5 goals. But then again, when I ask you, Talk to me about Didier Drogba, please. Oh, he's a legend. Bro, Drogba had some crazy years, you know. Talk to me about Wayne Rooney, please. Rooney as well. Hazard. The goalpost seems to shift because a lot of people wrote him off. And then when he ascended, it's like when you overwrite someone off and then when they come back, you have to overcompensate. Absolutely. That's how I see it. And a lot of people slept on him. Then he ascended and it's like, oh, you know what, bro? I said I think it was 2020 when Lua was going to win the Ballon d'Or, I said KB9 will always and has always been better than him. I got cooked, as the internet likes to say. And now look, do you know what I mean? Karim Benzema, for me, it's absolutely wild when people try and nitpick certain things with his career because he had that moment. But you look at his numbers through here, he's got over 20 goals in the league in many seasons. Yeah. And we're not even... Bro, he was hitting ridiculous numbers. He was hitting ridiculous numbers.
I think the thing with Benzema too, right, is you look with Ronaldo and without Ronaldo. With Ronaldo, clearly his numbers dropped down, just like Wayne Rooney's did when Ronaldo was there too.
Yeah, exactly.
But the success was still there. Benzema played a role, took a withdrawal role. In fact, sacrificed output in his game to be what the team needed for him, to be what Ronaldo needed for him. Is Ronaldo the same without Karim Benzema? Probably not, in my opinion. Or at least he probably doesn't win the same trophies that he did with him. And then you look at Benzema without Ronaldo, the seasons after, every single season after, he was Real Madrid's top scorer. There were seasons, right, post-Ronaldo, where Vinicius hadn't taken off and Hazard was really struggling. And it was literally just Benzema and hope. Benzema and pray. 20 goals in the league, 21 goals in the league, 21 goals in the league. Keeping them afloat in a period where Real Madrid realistically should not have been competitive when they were. I mean,
there's one season here. This is a guy that people are calling a scrub, right? In 2015-16, he played 27 league games and scored 24 league goals.
That's disgusting.
And this is somebody that people are calling like he was a scrub in the 10s. Like, he scored 5 goals in 07, 08. I'm like, in 17-18. And in 17-18, they won the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
They won the Champions League that year. Who was that against? Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he scored 2 in the final. He scored one in the final. He scored the opener in the final, right?
Yeah. He even had that big moment against Atletico Madrid, where he kind of like dribbles on.
Oh yeah.
That's again for me, Benzema. The beauty of Benzema, and in fact, it comes in his own quote, basically saying at the modern game, everyone looks at 1 goal or 1 assist, and it defines whether you played a good game. Benzema is basically like the antithesis of that.
Bro, he's gone absolutely insane in the 2020s. Yeah, absolutely.
He's taken it to another level.
But as I said, the guy had probably, if we were to do the maths, he had probably scored over 50 goals in the Champions League. In the 2010s. Now, bro, that's what Van Nistelrooy was doing. That's what Thierry Henry was doing. He was putting down Van Nistelrooy numbers in the 2010s anyway. So, listen, unbelievable player.
I think this is Benzema.
It's a wash, man.
I left you guys a poll, and Benzema is smoking the poll. So all credit to Karim Benzema. He is the first player. Hold on, if I go team 16, we'll go Benzema. And Benzema is our first member of our quarterfinals.
I've always loved Benzema, man.
Absolutely.
I've always loved that guy, bro.
So let's go back to the wheel of random names and see who's next up. Because like I said, guys, there's no soft. I'm actually upset that Zeko is out so early, but bro,
yeah, but Zeko, as you said, it was good that you go first.
I'll start this time. The first name up for the second game. Sergio Aguero.
Yo, this is a gunman, bro.
Sergio Aguero.
Yo. All right, cool. Aguero is gonna be up against. Hey, this one's gonna be.
Ooh. Argentine on Argentine violence, boy. Hey.
Civil war.
Hey. Sergio versus Tevez. Before we go on, I'm just going to read out this super chat here. From Adam, thank you for the super chat, bro. People don't realize how much Benzema sacrificed for Ronaldo. He was a lethal goal scorer before and after him and averaging 20 assists a season with him.
Come on, it's spooky. All round. I put him, Rooney, in like the same kind of box in terms of just all-round players, man. Fantastic, bro. Wow.
What do you want to start with, Aguero or Tevez?
Wow. Now, let us give our pitch first before you get the question. Sometimes you convince people, you know that.
So leave the poll for after. Okay.
Leave the poll for after.
This one I'm going to end right here. Okay. Go on. Talk your stuff.
Who am I ripping? I'm gonna go for Sergio.
Go ahead. Go take Sergio.
Oh, I love Tevez as well. Both of them are crazy. But for me, Sergio Aguero, where do we even start with this guy? First and foremost, right?
Yeah.
I always say Fergie's biggest mistake was letting Tevez go to Man City, right?
Agreed.
And it kind of started when they first got the top four. Tevez was the linchpin.
He was the
got
captain,
them
in
there,
fact. Yeah.
But when it was time to, all right, the plate is ready. Where's the garnish? When it was time for the garnish, yeah, Aguero came through and he said, he looked around and he said, yeah, this Premier League is mine. And for me, I always say, with alongside Harry Kane, alongside maybe Ruud van Nistelrooy, you got Thierry Henry. I'm just thinking on the top of my head. In terms of pure finishers in the Premier League, I think he's one of the best finishers I've ever seen. I think he's definitely a top 3 finisher in Premier League history.
No
the
doubt.
Guy could smack it near post, far post, right foot. If he needs to go left foot, he'll go left foot. He was so strong. People forget that Aguero before he just started scoring, had all these injuries. The guy could get the ball. He could dribble. Aguero could dribble. That low center of gravity, them big thighs that he had, the quads. He could strike a ball from distance. And I remember his goal. I think it was Swansea. Was his debut Swansea?
2 goals on his debut.
Gets the ball, turns, bangs it from like 25 yards. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be long. And you look at his goal to game ratio in the Premier League. I think it's the best ever, is it? I believe it is.
I believe so. Yeah. By distance, I think too.
Yeah, goal to game ratio, minutes per goal ratio. I think it's the best. You look at his hat tricks. I think he's got most hat tricks I think he may have the most hat tricks.
That I'm not sure
as well.
Maybe.
Yeah, he may have the most hat tricks as well. The guy, we can't forget the Aguero, of course. Clutch. Yeah. You look at what Aguero done to big teams, people, in the Premier League. He destroyed Manchester United. He scores goals against every and anyone, man. Like, the guy was a different level, honestly. And I always say, if I'm doing a 2-man up front in the Premier League history, I'm putting Aguero and I'm putting Thierry Henry, most likely. If I have to just do pure strikers up there, even though Henry wasn't a pure striker, but those two are just something different. And, bro, the records he was breaking as well. Is it most goals for a foreigner? Who would have thought that Aguero would have come to the Premier League and nearly scored 200 goals in the league?
I would never have imagined he'd do it against City, because I remember growing up, all the talk was, Chelsea. That's who's going to sign him. Really, the City one for me came out of kind of left field. And it's like you kind of said, it's an era-defining signing.
And one thing I would say is that, of course, in the Champions League, he scored 40 goals, which is surprising. But
can you remember
never only the Bayern hat trick you can remember. Never really gave you their moments, but I think that goes alongside David Silva, Yaya Toure, company. That whole crop, they didn't deliver in Europe, and that's why I always say Kevin De Bruyne is City's best ever player in Europe, because he delivers in Europe. He's there in Europe. Their men probably weren't there as much, but Aguero, it's hard to. I don't want to just say, because you ain't got the Champions League, you're rubbed out. Okay, internationally as well, I think the idea of Messi and Aguero was a lot better than what we end up seeing.
I think Higuain was more the guy for Argentina anyways.
So there is a bit of disappointment there. But sometimes I look at the attributes of the player. And I know some people are going to say, there was always felt like there was a season where somebody was outdoing Aguero. Like, it's kind of disappointing.
That's what I always say.
Aguero's talent, he hasn't got a player of the year. He hasn't got any of them type of things, which Van Persie has, which Wayne Rooney has, which all these guys, Suarez, have. But the consistent level that Aguero was at every single season, he was going to give you ridiculous numbers. And the one problem with him was his fitness. Bro, special, bro.
I echo everything you said, to be honest with you. Aguero is the picture perfect representation of consistency. Every single year, death, taxes, and Aguero scoring 20 plus goals in the season. And like 20 plus goals while missing 10 games most of the time. I also say this. I think bar Suarez, and I think Haaland now is making a real argument, Aguero might be the best natural finisher I have seen in the Premier League.
I think Aguero is a better finisher than Suarez.
You see,
I think Aguero is a better natural finisher than Suarez. I'm not gonna lie.
That's debatable for me. That one is debatable. Yeah.
I think Suarez sometimes was a 3 chances to score guy. Aguero,
that's true. Aguero,
1 in 2 shots.
Aguero, in terms of like sharp shooting finishing,
bro, he was like Defoe on crack.
It's true, but I say Suarez because I think Suarez had so many different finishes in his locker, and he could basically score you a goal almost out of nothing. But at the same time, Aguero could too, right? I think of Aguero, right? The moment against United, where we actually won the league that season, when he dribbles 1, 2, 3, 4, and then roofs into the net. I always say that's my favorite finish in football, Cam. The near post roof is like, it's like crack to me, honestly, when someone pulls it off. And that was Aguero's specialty, bro. The guy didn't know what an angle was, bro.
He didn't.
I look at 2 times at the Etihad against Liverpool. On the right, one time he rounds Pepe Reina, and it looks like he's basically running out of bounds. Puts it in from that angle. I think of the game that was the title decider between Liverpool and City. People call it the biggest quality game in Premier League history. Left foot, screamer near post. The guy's finishing was on crack. So I don't think I have to really add too much on what you said about Aguero.
I think. Well, we'll talk about Suarez when we get to Suarez. I think Suarez had that just ridiculous X factor, the magical goals, all that. But I actually genuinely think if I was to put Aguero on goal in different scenarios, 50 times with Suarez same time, I think Aguero would bag me more. I think Aguero bag more. Bro. I think Aguero one-on-one.
Yeah,
I'm going Aguero.
If I were to play a striker through, I would agree with that.
Even if I was to whip it, I think Aguero is getting there.
I think I agree. I think what I mean by Suarez is that I trust Suarez to create me a goal out of nothing. I think more.
He's got more. He's magical.
Suarez is like he's ingenious, bro. Like his inventiveness is different level. I'll talk about Tevez a little, right? Because I agree with you in that. I was actually just tweeting a few minutes ago, guys, that Tevez leaving Manchester United and almost prioritizing Berbatov, who you guys might think is unlucky to make this list too, or not to make this list. Replacing Tevez with Berbatov, which is what we effectively did, for me is one of the biggest mistakes in Fergie's entire career. Not even just at Man United, because Tevez was so instrumental to the way that three-headed monster and Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez played, because Rooney even said it the other day. That's his favorite strike partner he's ever played with. Van Nistelrooy, Saha. Yeah, he said Van Nistelrooy, Saha, Berbatov, and Van Persie. I enjoyed playing with Tevez the most because for all of those other guys, I was playing as a 10. But with Tevez, sometimes I'd play the 9, he'd play the 10. We'd alternate. We'd both run basically like dogs. He basically said to recover the ball. He had so much fun playing with him. So letting him go to the enemy that was basically just coming up, the noisy neighbors, was a massive L. And like you kind of said, Aguero was the garnish on top, but don't forget that Tevez was the original guy that City bought.
We will remember that 10-11 season.
The FA Cup that they won was down to Tevez. He got them to the top 4 for the first time, which we cannot discredit the importance of that.
You remember that free kick against Stoke?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember too, it's not even about remembering, but that season that Aguero won City the lead, let's not forget that United were running away with it because Tevez had decided that in December that he wanted to go play golf in Argentina. And Manchester City's season, let's not forget about it, guys, kind of started nosediving down. And Tevez coming back.
It was against Norwich. They scored
absolutely. And he did the golf club celebration. Him coming back and basically giving City a 4th world-class attacker in Balotelli, Tevez, Dzeko, and Aguero. That was a massive catalyst in City kind of getting back into that title race and ultimately winning it. Obviously, he doesn't stay too long at City. We know that, right? He doesn't go on to see the great City years. He goes to Juventus. And this is a super underrated part of Tevez's career, I truly believe, because him and Morata up front, obviously behind or in front of that brilliant midfield that they had and that brilliant defense in Buffon, but Tevez was the killer up front, bro. Tevez was the magic man for me in that he could get on the ball and give Juventus a solution. They had all these brilliant players like Pirlo, Marquisio, Vidal, but who was the guy that could kind of get on the ball at that point in their careers? It was Tevez. You look at Tevez's goal catalog at Juventus those days, guys, it's screamers on top of screamers on top of screamers,
It's
bro.
so mad because I saw that, obviously I knew, but obviously we watch Tevez all the time, know what Tevez brings, not only on the ball, off the ball, the pressing, the aggression.
He's an animal.
He had that dog in him, as they say. Do you know what I mean? He had everything about him, Tevez, right? Sometimes you might question the mentality.
Rio. What did Rio say? He's the worst trainer he's ever played.
But on the pitch, he's going to go and do his thing. But even on that Juventus team, as you mentioned, the goals, the performances, definitely underrated because he was in the Serie A most probably. Yeah. But you look at guys. If you look at Tevez at Juve, and I'm no disrespect to the strikers of now, but you look at the strikers now, you're like, there's levels to this game. But like, with all due respect to Osimhen, Gonzalo Ramos, and that. Yeah. Jesus Lord, when you look at what Aguero is, you're like, what the hell would he be worth now? He'll be worth 200 mil, bro.
And guys, like, we'll tell you this, Tevez at that point, I don't think anyone ever considered Tevez a top 3 striker in the world or even top 5 at times. He was probably like borderline top 10. But I agree with Cam, bro. You put him in today's game, this is not nostalgia speaking here. No. He's one of the best strikers on the planet, bro.
You already have people saying Alvarez is like one of the best.
People are talking about Ivan Toney, who's good in his own right, but Ivan Toney should be like a 50-60 million pound player.
Bro, he's like Alvarez on steroids and
it's true.
Inject him with all sorts of things.
This is what I always said about Tevez too, right? The final point on Tevez. I remember how everyone was trying to kind of say Messi versus Maradona. What was always funny to me was that Tevez, for me, reminded me much more of Maradona than Messi.
Really?
Yes. And
as a person.
No, but not even just as a person. No, hold on. I think Messi, in terms of like the way he dribbles, of course, but in terms of the dog, in terms of like basically putting your head down and steamrolling through players.
Tevez represented
Argentina more than Messi.
More than Messi in terms of when they look at a local,
right?
That's Tevez, that's Maradona.
Yeah.
They love them type of people.
Right.
That's why they always bought into him more than they bought into Messi.
Tevez at Boca Juniors, he's a legend, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like they bought into him more because Argentinians, they're like scruffy.
They're passionate people.
They're passionate. They go on the pitch. They're dogs. They do whatever. They ride tackles. They do whatever. They love that side of him, and obviously he embraced Argentina a lot more. But in terms of the playing,
of course, left foot dribbling, it's genius. It's Messi, but I just think. Even Aguero to a certain extent. Head down, steamroll your way through three players, celebration like you're on crack.
That's what Alvarez. They're gonna try and get Alvarez.
I know. I think Alvarez is new school Argentinian.
He's a little bit. He's a bit washed. He's a bit wet, but he's a hard player, bro. But he's got that about him that you got typical Argentinians.
Absolutely. I'm gonna set up the poll for you guys.
It's an interesting one, I'm actually very interested to see.
Absolutely.
I think it's. I gotta go Kun Aguero, man. I can't. Was it even in the? I don't know if it was in the 2010s, but Aguero at Atletico.
That's 2000. Well, 10-11 was his one season at Atletico.
But he's whipping free kicks against Chelsea in that. Aguero at Atletico. Please, people, go and watch Aguero videos at Atletico. This guy was a dribbler. That's when he had the floppy hair.
Him and Forlan up front.
Come on, man. In that, I might need to get that Atletico kit. That kit was cold.
Yeah. And I always remember.
Man. Next, we're not dissing Alvarez, man. We fuck with Alvarez, man.
Alvarez is great, bro. Y'all take a joke, man. Thing with me and Tevez too. I always remember
the poll is up, people. The
poll is up, guys. Go give your votes in. Tevez and the Snoot.
Oh yeah, Snoot Tevez was.
Bro, do you remember Tevez when he came back when he played us for like the first time at the Etihad? He scored against us. He goes like that.
Bro, do you remember?
And he did like the little dance.
Bro, Tevez when he went to Man City, 09-010, I believe it was, or no. Well, he went there that season. Yeah, that Carling Cup tie. We had a
semi-final where Rooney
scored and then the cartwheel.
That tie was all-timer.
My
all-timer, bro.
Yo, I celebrated that goal like it was a UCL final, bro.
Rooney celebrated that goal like it's a UCL final, bro.
See, had me worried, bro. They had me worried. I knew they were coming at that point,
all 3 games that year were actually, or all 4. Basically, 1-4-3, classic.
Yeah.
They won 3-1, I think, at the Etihad, or 2-1 at the Etihad. We won 3-1 at, Owen was the first Premier League game.
Yeah.
Then they won 2-1 at the Etihad. That's where Tevez basically did that to Fergie. We won, I think, 3-1 at Old Trafford in the reverse leg, went to the final. But even the last game between us, Scholes in the 93rd minute, header. Yeah. Gary Neville goes and kisses it.
Yeah. What do you think, though, for Sergio Aguero, before we end this poll?
Yeah.
People in the chat, what is Aguero's best season? What is Aguero? If you had to say, I'm going to take one version of Aguero and put him to show a person that's never watched football, this is his peak. What season are you picking? It's kind of tough when you think about Aguero's. Like I can pinpoint Van Persie's, I can pinpoint all these people's, but Aguero seems to kind of, you just don't really know.
I agree with SC. SC says 14-15. That's the season Chelsea won the league.
That he won the Golden Boot that year, right?
I think so, but I just think
that was because he won the Golden Boot. People.
Well, I mean, it was his fitness was at its best. I don't think it was in the Pep years because I think in the Pep. Here's another thing about Aguero, right? Let me say that Pep came into Manchester City and at first didn't want anything to do with Aguero. I think he basically said he was out of shape. Aguero had to reinvent his game a little bit. People were kind of saying Aguero was done. Jesus had just come in. Aguero did very, very well to basically give his career a second lift and be the main guy for City in that 18-19 years. So
I really liked, I don't know what it is yet, but I liked 18-19 Aguero.
Yeah.
I liked that Formidables Aguero. I liked him that year, man. He had 98 points when they went and done it.
Yeah. I still think, though, the dribbling, like, you know me, I like the most complete versions of players. And I think 14, 15, 13, 14, like, Aguero
11-12 though as well. The Aguero season.
Yeah, bro. Aguero. That's the thing with Aguero, right? His consistency is just nuts. Like he really didn't drop a level like that. Barring Pep's first season. Yeah,
Aguero never dropped a level, and that represents in his numbers. Listen to his numbers. Like, okay, to be fair, 12-13 was a mid-season for him.
17-18 is clear. He had better GA per 90 than Prime Salah. He just got injured.
I'm reading his all number. Come on, listen to the pillar of consistency. 30 goals all comp, 17 goals, 28, 32, 29, 33, 30, 32, 23, 6 in the end.
Look at this, bro. 13-14. 28 goals, 14 assists in 34 games. I'm guessing that's all comps, but that's just
he only played 23. He only played 23 games that season. Scored 17 goals in the league. Yeah, Aguero.
Mental. I mean, let's see what the poll is saying. The poll definitely agrees.
Did you see 85%? Did you see when they asked Kyle Walker, Aguero, Haaland, and he just said Aguero.
For real?
They literally said this, yeah. Aguero, Haaland. He said Aguero, and he just kept his face straight. He didn't even think about it.
That's the thing. I see a lot of the City players right now, like De Bruyne. The other day, he was like, "Yeah, Haaland is on good track. Like, I think he'll eventually take over Aguero. Maybe if he brings the Champions League." Walker said, "Nah, none of that, bro. Nah, none of that." Hey, Tevez. That's what I'm saying, though, bro. Tevez out first round.
That's mad. 2010's was crazy for the strikers,
bro. I'm saying, yeah. Thank you guys for the poll. We'll go on to the next one right now. Damn, man, it's getting uncomfy.
It's getting uncomfy. I can't believe Tevez and Dzeko. Hey, what is this? All Man City players. Aguero, Tevez, Dzeko.
Bro, I'm telling you, City this past decade.
Even the midfielders. Yeah. If you look at this, is maybe in a conversation we'll have another day. Maybe it'll be another episode. But if you look at the collection of midfielders, City have probably had the best collection of midfielders in Prem history.
I would say them and Chelsea. I think Chelsea are.
I think they beat Chelsea.
That's probably fair.
I think they beat Chelsea. Yeah. Ooh, when you think
Chelsea,
about Kante, though,
Lampard, Fabregas, Kante, Makelele, Essien, Ballack. Deco was a little washed at that point.
But you think about David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Yaya Toure, Fernandinho. I'm probably missing others.
Bernardo Silva.
I said Bernardo Silva. Yeah,
it's tough, bro.
There's loads.
Tough, bro. Yeah, I would say Chelsea or City. Yeah. Lias, why not put Aguero, Tevez in the 2 and 15 bracket? Guys, the way we're doing it is just because it's by random, so we don't really control what the matchups are. We find that it makes it a little more unpredictable. I think that's what you're asking. But I'll let you go first this time.
All right. Can they see this? Yeah.
Yeah. Who is the next casualty, bro? The next casualty is Luis Suarez, who I'm sure is actually a lot of people's pick to win this whole thing, bro. Where you thought he was going to Lewandowski. Suarez is on the board.
Yo, he just dodged the Aguero group.
Do not let.
Oh, they're going to meet in the semis. The Aguero's who's the first one again?
Benzema.
Oh my God.
Aguero is okay. They gave him a nice eighth. This is a play-in team, guys. Suarez versus Aubameyang.
Come on, this is a sweep. Like, look.
Yeah, this is Aubameyang getting one.
The thing is, we can give Aubameyang his flowers.
Yeah, for sure.
But Suarez. Look, for me, like, I don't even want to give away everything, obviously, but we all know ball people. This guy for me is the best striker of his generation.
Of course.
Now, don't talk to me about 26 UCL goals, whatever. He's won one and he scored in the final, I believe it was as well. If you're talking about X factor for a striker, R9, Thierry Henry, Luis Suarez.
It's true.
These are the 3 best strikers I have ever seen in my life. And I'm waiting to see another one like that. It's going to be a long time. One, he was an absolute killer at Ajax. First of all, his numbers are ridiculous. I think he scored 45 goals in one season. Came to Liverpool, and what he did at Liverpool in terms of lighting up the league. I always say, you think about peaks for players, right? The best players. Forget about greatnest.
Consistency.
How long they've been in the Prem.
Trophies.
Longevity, trophies. The 3 best players to walk in this Prem. Thierry Henry, Cristiano Ronaldo, Luis Suarez.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
I agreed.
They are the 3, bro, they're peak.
I mean, they have the 3 best seasons too, right? Talk to me a little bit about that Suarez 13-14 season where, look, I'll hear about Sturridge. He's been great on punditry, by the way, recently. Sterling was kind of coming up. Gerrard had like one last dance. But relatively, that's a carry job.
Like, you look at what Suarez done that season, yeah, and crazy, as we age, people start saying, oh, but by the way, he didn't score against this big team. He did. Guys, if you were sitting and witnessing, you all did. I know you all did. If you sat and witnessed Luis Suarez in the 13-14 Premier League season, he would have been in this list just for that season.
It's true.
Now, I haven't even started talking about Barcelona, but that season, volleys, nutmegs, dribbling, flicks. Was it 15 assists as well? He was different. Listen, the guy, I don't even know if it was the same season. Was that the Norwich one where he scored 4?
I think so.
Have you seen a better hat trick than that?
Never.
Oh, come on. Free kick, volley from here, flick past that guy, side tech it there. Come on, bro. That was just like,
what's the best goal for you out of those ones? I think, bro, it's the one where he flicks it over and then side. Bro, there's even a goal too. I don't know if it was that season or the season before, but the one where basically the long ball over the top against Newcastle.
That's one of the best goals.
He chests it.
No, he doesn't chest it. He shoulders it. He has Bonuccini here. Yeah. He shoulders it. Same time, he takes it past the keeper.
And then outside of the foot. It's not that he just passes it outside of the foot too.
Right. Suarez. People need to stop playing with Suarez, bro.
It's nuts.
If Liverpool were able, if Liverpool were able to have assembled a good enough side at that time, they could have won multiple Premier Leagues. He was
the best player in the league at that point. And let's not forget too, right? That Suarez came kind of in that whole fiasco where Torres left for Chelsea, and Andy Carroll was actually like the headliner of that January transfer window. We went for 35. I think Suarez for 23, which looking back now, it looks like crazy. But could you imagine being a Liverpool fan, probably heartbroken that Torres, who was like a cult hero at the time, had just left for one of your biggest rivals, but a year later, you'd be saying Suarez, bro. We actually probably got an upgrade.
You think about, like, he didn't win what maybe Owen won in terms of Ballon d'Or at the time, and Torres was going deep in the Champions League. Steven Gerrard does not even hesitate to say, this is the best player I played with.
It's true.
And he played with Rooney, played with Torres, Owen. He doesn't hesitate. This is the best player I've played with. So, Luis Suarez. And then now when we talk about what he went on and done at Barcelona.
Stupid, bro. I mean,
60 goals.
I mean,
the guy won a Pachichi. The guy won the European Golden Shoe in and amongst the peak of Messi and Ronaldo. Listen, amongst all my trophies, that's the one thing I'm putting. Listen, I'm telling my kids, you see these two aliens? Me. I got one time. I got one.
It's facts, bro. It's facts, bro. Look, and I mean, he's part of, for me, the greatest trio I've ever seen in terms of attacking talent. The greatest individual talents I've ever seen put together in Suarez, Neymar, and Messi. And he played his role to perfection, right? Like, of course, he kind of took a step back from his Liverpool days. He was no longer the guy that everything was going through. When you have Messi at his prime and Neymar was doing his thing, but he just got into his killer bag, bro. Suarez got into his this guy scores. Bag, bro.
All right, guys, people, in terms of catalog, I think Wayne Rooney has a mad catalog. Suarez,
I think I was going to say Henry.
I think he's got a way better catalog than Henry. Yeah, Suarez's catalog of goals.
Look, I agree. I was going to say I think Zlatan that's Zlatan.
Henry's cash money, but
I think Suarez. I think Suarez is the best goal catalog, bar maybe Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah,
they're in a different category. But I think he has the best goal catalog I've seen, bro. He has every single kind of goal at a super high level on his resume.
He has a scissor kick. He scored a scissor kick. He's got back heels.
Bro, that back heel he scored for Barca. Everyone talks about the Ozil bounce shot, right?
Come on.
Suarez back heeled it into the ground and up over the goalkeeper.
And people are forgetting he was banned for was it the first 8 games of that season in 13-14?
Yeah, it's true.
He would have obliterated. He would have scored 40 goals or something. Nah, come on, man. Yeah, Suarez, come on, man. Suarez is.
And don't forget too, just to kind of wrap it up, he kind of was dwindling at the end near Barca. Fans were chanting for him to get out. They sold him to Atletico Madrid. And he led them to a league title, bro.
Yeah, he was crying all.
Yeah, he was fake tears,
Barcelona,
bro.
And then he went and goes and win a league title. He's an all time.
You know how great you have to be that bad of a person, right? As far as a villain, bro. He's a super villain.
He is.
And people still universally regard him as one of the greatest players of all time. They're willing to look past that. They're like, yeah, he's a dickhead, but hey, man, he could score goals.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But listen, yeah, that's Luis Suarez. And who's the other guy again that we got to do?
The Sacramento Kings, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Hey, Aubameyang,
Let me give Aubameyang his flowers. Bro.
Nice Batman mask. Wakanda forever. That's all I got.
I think Aubameyang. Look, obviously he's not getting past Suarez, guys. I actually think he's one of the weaker names on this list. But I think Aubameyang at his peak, guys, was one of the best goal scorers in Europe. Like there was a point. I remember when he went to Arsenal, and all the talk was Arsenal are signing one of the best strikers in the world. They're signing a bona fide gunman. And look, I think when he looks back at his Arsenal career, he probably has a bit of regret. I don't think he ever played a single Champions League game for them, which is a huge regret for a player that was scoring that amount of goals for Dortmund. But he won them an FA Cup in their lowest point, and he won them that FA Cup, right? That was a carry job, the way he was spinning Rudiger and scoring against City in the semifinals. He had very good periods at Arsenal. I hope Arsenal fans don't forget that just because they've gone on to do what they did since he's left. He had a great spell at Barcelona last season. He ended up leaving there. At Dortmund, he behind Lewandowski was the guy in Bundesliga. I think he can look back at his career very happily. Like he had a very good career, but we're talking about Suarez. I agree with you. The best striker of his generation.
But
Sweep.
Thingy has Suarez actually also has the second most recorded assists since they started counting assists.
Yeah.
Messi, obviously.
It's not Muller.
No, Muller's third.
Suarez. Wow.
Muller's third. Suarez has 285 apparently.
Yeah. Don't forget.
When I checked anyway.
Aubameyang also has shared the golden boot one year with Salah and Mane when they were both.
Aubameyang was a goal scorer, man. Yeah. Aubameyang was a goal scorer, but it always never looked the greatest with Aubameyang. You know what I mean? His trim was always dead as well, which wasn't help.
Are you pulling up the African best players in the world awards in a t-shirt, the Ferrari t-shirt? You got Mahrez and Mane suited and booted.
He wore this hat, bro. Mad.
Hey, man. So
but it was good, man. Aubameyang was good, man.
I think that's honestly the reason why he never reached the heights of these other guys. Because I think technically, like, what was he bringing outside of his goals? It wasn't enough. But bro, at his peak, the guy was a speed demon.
I like the way he got them that FA Cup, though.
Yeah.
I had respect for that.
So Aubameyang versus Suarez. We're not giving you guys a poll for this one. I can't lie, bro. I don't need to see 99% Suarez. Suarez is into the next round. That was an easy one. Okay, the first two were...
Somebody said he lost his suitcase.
Oh, my God. I can't lie, though. That kind of sums up Aubameyang for me, bro. Just mad careless, bro.
That's why Arteta got rid of him, bro. Can you be... Please be organized. You know what I'm saying? Please come on time.
What Arteta say? You must arrive on time.
You must, bro. What the hell? You getting stuck in traffic in Tottenham High Road and that.
Let's see our next matchup, guys. On the board next for best strikers of 2010s, Harold Kane.
Hazard. Shooter.
Go ahead.
Shooter. Yeah, let me. All right, cool. I'm looking at the names. I think he can get it down some. He can get a few.
He needs a nice matchup, though.
He needs a nice. This is a. Oh, that's on the line. It says Zlatan.
Oh my God. You happy with if you were Kane's representative, would you be happy about that?
If I was who's?
Kane's representative, would you be happy about that?
About Kane Zlatan?
Yeah.
It
definitely concerns you a little bit.
It concerns, but he can mix it up.
This is a poll one for sure. I don't think he's gonna win the poll, bro. I'll be real. If I know how these guys think, I don't think we got Kane fans in our things. Maybe it's our job to big up Kane enough that they see the bigger picture. Who do you want to start with? I'm gonna start with Zlatan.
Yeah, you start with Zlatan.
Zlatan, guys, I think is the only name on this entire list that featured in the last list. He was the only one that was part of our 2000s best strikers. And Zlatan, I always say this, aged like fine wine, because Zlatan in the 2000s and Zlatan in the 2010s is a completely different player. Zlatan in the 2000s is the total footballer. He's the guy who wants to be on the ball, scoring. All of his golazos, for the most part, came in the 2000s. And then that spell at Barca kind of separates the two. He ends up going to Milan. Before last season, he spearheaded Milan to their first league title in 11 years. Spearheaded them. He was unbelievable for them. Goes to PSG, who are kind of like the new kid on the block. They hadn't really reached this Galactico status. They were actually looking for their first superstar. In comes Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And People will say Ligue 1, people will say the French league, people will say, well, it was the competition that well, but he took over that league. 50 goals in one season. And the thing with Zlatan too, right? Just before he joined United, and we'll speak about that spell. Zlatan and Cavani, at first Cavani was kind of playing on the wing for him, but I think Zlatan's last season, Zlatan was basically playing withdrawn from Cavani. Cavani up front, Zlatan almost playing as like a 10. The guy was sensational. When you talk about, for me, the most complete forward I've ever seen, you can talk about your Suarez's, you can talk about your Benzemas. I think in terms of completeness, when you talk about athleticism, IQ, technical ability, flair, power, speed, goals, Zlatan has it all, bro. Zlatan was not missing any attribute of what a complete forward needed. He was unbelievable for PSG. Goes to United. Until this year, broke their trophy duck that they'd go on to set for 6 years. I didn't actually think Zlatan was that great at United, but I also I can't argue with 18 goals in the league at 36, 37 years of age. He did his thing. Goes to LA Galaxy after injuring his knee. We know about that spell. Goes back to Milan and still scoring goals. I think his longevity is untouched.
But are we saying Zlatan in the 2010s, yeah, where he got shafted out of Barcelona?
That's 09-10.
Okay, cool. So that was what was the next season after that?
10-11.
He went to Milan. Decent season at Milan.
He had a good season. That's not a decent season. Don't do that.
PSG. Yo,
unbelievable.
Do you know what Harry would do in PSG?
I don't, because I've never seen him at PSG.
But he'll drill. You know he'll drill.
This is the conversation all the time.
So are we? Hold on. Are we giving Zlatan all the props for what he did in the Ligue 1?
I just told you he won a league title with Milan.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Harry, I don't know.
No, this is the
Harry ascended. Harry Kane made his name in the 2010s.
Yeah.
This is who he became in the 2010s. He started in 2014-15. And from then, it's been nothing but goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pure. Where would you rank him best finishers in Prem history?
That's another one. I think he's right up there with the likes of Aguero, with the likes of Haaland now. Yeah. I agree with you, actually. Kane, his finishing, bro. You see him on the right-hand side. Shot across goal is going in 99% unless it's a final.
31
goals.
31 goals, 28 goals, 35, 41, 24, 24, 33, 27, 24.
It's stupid.
Bro.
It's stupid.
Bro, Harry Kane, we're basically saying the entirety of Harry Kane's career doesn't level up to the back end of Zlatan's
Is it the back end of Zlatan's career, though, bro? Because a lot of people, me included, would probably argue that Zlatan's second half of his career is better than his first, bro. I think the 2010s.
Because of PSG.
No,
so when he went to the easiest part of his career,
it's not about, that's when he had the best point. That's not my point. Whether he had gone to PSG, whether he had gone to United in the 2010s. My whole point was, as a footballer, I think that's where he was at his absolute most complete, bro. Scoring goals. I don't think so. Well, I think he was, bro. I think in the 2000s you were still seeing Zlatan
it was elite football. I think he was a better footballer in the 2000s.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But he then added 40, 50 goals a season in the 2010s. He was still an amazing footballer.
Kane got down Ronaldo and Messi too, you know.
Yeah, I think that 18-19 season, right? Or 17-18. Yeah, a great season. Look, I'm not trying to discredit Kane here, but
Kane scored 29 league goals in one season.
Yeah.
Then the following season, he scored 30.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I guess the question for me is,
Kane,
you have Zlatan. So when do you think is Zlatan's best year? When do you think? What's the best?
He scored 50 goals for PSG one season.
No, but what you're saying is that you preferred Zlatan in 2000s. What's the best version of Zlatan?
I think the best version of Zlatan. Oh,
I think it's PSG Zlatan.
To be fair, actually, I like that Milan Zlatan.
He was good too. Yeah, he was good too.
Yeah, to be fair, look, it would be the PSG one, but again, it was his easiest platform.
That's for me. That almost it just kind of falls in line. But I honestly think that's when Zlatan was at his best. I truly believe so.
I hear that, but fair enough. Let's give our credit to Harry Kane, though.
Absolutely.
Harry Kane, what he's come and done. Look, everyone's going to talk about no trophies or whatever, but Harry Kane, what he's done in terms of just the pure goal scoring output is unbelievable. And this is about to be his 4th season scoring at 25 or plus, or this is 6th season scoring over 20 in the league. I think he's going to get his 3rd or 4th season scored 25 plus. The guy, as I just said, scored 30 goals in one campaign, 29 in another campaign, bro. Like Harry Kane, man, it's such a shame, in my opinion, that he doesn't play for one of the better teams, because we'll be talking about him like it's ridiculous. And it's funny because people all say, like, for example, Alan Shearer is better than Kane, and if that's your opinion, that's fine. But does it only take one trophy for them to say, oh,
Yeah.
For me, I always see people putting like Shearer in the all-time 11 and all that stuff. And I'm not here to disrespect Shearer because he was dumb. But people do that because he's the all-time scorer and has a trophy. So if Kane had a trophy, and which he is going to become the all-time scorer, do you then automatically just say Kane is in the... Do you just replace Alan Shearer? Because basically, Alan Shearer is there because of his record, right?
I agree with you.
When Kane smashes that record,
do
people just say now Kane's the best of all time? It just depends how people look at it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, bro.
I don't have Alan Shearer in my top two.
Look, I didn't watch Alan Shearer week in, week out, so I obviously have some bias here. But I would say Harry Kane is the better footballer than Alan Shearer, bro. I think he provides more to a 90-minute game. I'm with you, bro. One trophy does not change Harry Kane's entire legacy. Harry Kane is not a better player tomorrow if he wins a capital, whatever the hell they're calling it now, Carabao Cup. That's not the reality of the situation. One thing I will say, and look, I don't really care who wins it. I like both Harry Kane and Ibrahimovic, but I'm seeing a lot of people here say, oh, Harry Kane, what is he doing for England, or what does he do in Europe? Zlatan in Europe was shambolic. Zlatan for his country, I think Sweden has a better win percentage when Zlatan doesn't play than when he does play. And Zlatan in big games, guys, for the most part, was a little suspect. So I'm actually not going to just crown Zlatan as, well, he didn't have this complete career, bro. I just said he's the most complete footballer, but he definitely underachieved for how great of a player he was, in my opinion.
And the thing is, people talk about Kane has done nothing for his country and stuff, but guys, one, he's the all-time scorer, and two, he's the all-time scorer in knockout games as well. He's going to probably, depending on next World Cup, he might become England's all-time scorer in World Cups as well. So if he did nothing, again, I have to go back to then when Rooney did nothing.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? But I feel like people kind of shift those goalposts. But look, after he missed that penalty, it's peaked for him anyway. But yeah, guys, is a poll up?
I'm gonna put the poll up.
Put the poll up, man.
And while we do have a few super chats.
This is what this show is for, man. You got to give arguments for both sides.
Yeah.
I know who I think should win, but let's see what happens.
I think it's very close, to be honest.
I think I know who should win, but you got to give both sides, man.
Absolutely.
Unless it's like Suarez versus Benzema.
Yeah. We'll go through a few of these. Zeno, I missed yours earlier, but this is talking about Aguero. Guaranteed 20 goals a season, even with injuries. Aguero trademarked that near post finish. Chelsea are still trembling player. Yeah, he used to terrorize
Chelsea.
Oh my God.
All of us.
He's a big game killer. Aguero is one of the best big game players I've ever seen in my life.
Aguero was just a problem.
Naveed Ahmed said Harry Kane can't lace Ibra's boots. Fair opinion. Naveed also says, Cams, don't be deluded. Don't compare Kane with Ibra. He's not vibing with this. Yeah, guys, go ahead. The poll is up. Look, the way I look at it, right? Who's had the better career? It's Ibra. I don't think that you can really debate. The trophies speak for themselves. But I tend to look at these conversations more so at their best. I have a game tomorrow. Not a final, not this, not that. Just a game tomorrow. Who do I want up front? I think I would want Zlatan, to be honest with you, at his very best. I just think, look, if you could get the best out of him, which, let's be honest, guys, not everyone could, because I think part of Zlatan's struggles in Europe was because teams had to play through him. Like, if Zlatan was not the focal point of a team, he would struggle. He would go in and out of games, where there are strikers, they can almost be like parts of a great system and thrive on their own.
The thing about Zlatan is his ability as well, and his ability is ridiculous. But I do think people will flip-flop on Kane. If Kane went to Man City when he was meant to go Man City and won a league, the flip-flopping on Kane...
We'd be talking about him the way we talk about Haaland.
Will be...
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So,
yeah.
So whatever, you know what I mean? But let's see. We
haven't even talked about his 4 goals against England, bro. Zlatan.
Who? Oh, yeah, that was a mad... That's the thing about Zlatan. Zlatan had that excitement about his goals. You know what I mean? He could score every type of goal.
He's the entertainer.
Yeah, even Sweden... Even though he wasn't good for Sweden like that, like if you look at that, remember that goal in the Euro 2000?
The back heel. Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I even remember against France, he scored this crazy scissor kick in the Euro 2012. He had, when Ronaldo went like nuclear against Sweden that one game and scored 4, Ibra almost pulled that back, where he scored 2 of his own. And I always say this about Zlatan. He's one of a kind for me. I've never seen as unique, I call him a unicorn. I've never seen as unique a center forward as that in terms of, again, 6'5", graceful, amazing technique, powerful. When he was younger, fast. The guy's complete.
Yeah, he's alien.
Yeah.
He's alien.
I figured it would be this. I honestly figured that Zlatan would win this.
That's fine. All right, cool. Zlatan goes through. Harry Kane. Listen, go and get yourself a Prem, man. It might be different conversations.
Harry Kane out first
The
round,
Kane campaign still lives.
That is crazy. Yeah, let me bring up. Excuse me.
But I still think for Zlatan's talent, he could have had a. Weird to say he could have had a better career because he's had a great career, but I still think he could have been in them. He still could have done better. Like Zlatan, for his ability, he should be up for Ballon d'Ors.
I actually agree. It's crazy to say a player
for the way he talks.
That's also true. I actually agree that it's kind of crazy to say a player with double-digit league titles, that many trophies, and that many great goals underachieved. But I think he kind of did, bro. Like that kind of player should be going down as the greatest striker of all time, in my opinion, based on pure talent. All right, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's see who's next up. We don't got too many left for this first round, but still some big hitters. I'll let you go first for this one. Ooh, these are going close, bro. Is that very big? Oh, yeah.
Lukaku.
Big Rom. Against. I think there's one name.
Only one man he can compete against, and he might actually get it here.
And he got it. All right, this is when eighth seed gets a favorable match.
Bro, this is the funny ones, man.
Romelu Lukaku versus Olivier Giroud. Someone's saying, where the hell is Griezmann? Griezmann, we didn't want to include him in here, guys, because is he really an out-and-out number 9? We kind of consider more second striker. But, bro,
this is like when you get like Utah.
This is 4th versus 5th. Hawks versus Raptors.
Yeah, bro. This is Utah v. the Kings or something.
These are the Jeff Teague versus the DeRozan days, bro.
Oh, my days. This is a crazy mid-off.
Yeah,
you might just leave it to the poll.
For me, I can't lie, guys.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Giroud, he's a good dude. Won a league for Montpellier. Was that what year?
You won Montpellier the league.
Yeah, what year was that?
2011, 12. No, it was in the 2010s for sure. Yeah. 12, 13, or 11, 12. Yeah. Look, Giroud is one of the weirdest.
Won a World Cup.
Yeah,
he didn't score or have a shot on target.
His resume is weird, Giroud, because he's always been part of successful teams, but bar the Montpellier days, and to be honest, actually, you could probably argue Milan last year. He had a really good year with Milan. Not the star guy, because I was Leao, but still had a really great year. But he's one of those guys that is always part of successful teams because I think coaches value what he brings to a team. We can't discredit Giroud here. He's a very talented footballer. Like, he has a very unique skill set in terms of, like, he's basically like a human wall. Play it off him, get it back. His flicks are crazy. He's got actually a few crazy goals in his catalog as well. But when you stack him up against the elite of the elite, the creme de la creme, that's where it starts to get a little uncomfortable. In fact, me and Cam were kind of going back and forth, guys, Giroud or Vardy. And I know Giroud has the better repertoire in Europe. He has obviously the World Cup as well. But when they were both at their best, who would you rather have? For me, it's a little.
Pick up Giroud for what he did for Chelsea, though. His impact for Chelsea,
Europa League,
was good. Yeah. It was good. But the thing about it is that Lukaku's obviously got the stats. You know what I mean? Probably better stats. Scored 27 goals for Man United in one season, 25 league goals for Everton.
Yeah. He's got over 100 Premier League goals.
He has over 100 Premier League goals. So he's done his thing. Obviously, his international record has always been good. I think he's got 60-something goals for his country.
He's the top scorer in Belgium's history.
Yeah, ridiculous. But it's about, you're talking about who would you want on their day.
Lukaku for me.
On their day, who would I want between the two of them? And I'm taking Lukaku.
I agree.
Career, you're taking Giroud.
Of course.
But on their day, I'm taking Lukaku over I'm taking Giroud. So it's a tough one, actually. It's interesting to see who people pick. Pure quality, you'll probably say Giroud as more natural pure
ability.
Quality.
Yeah.
But I actually think a defender would rather play against Giroud than
especially. I think Lukaku's probably a little unlucky here, guys. Because for me, Lukaku's best season ever came in the 2020s under Antonio Conte, who everyone knows I'm not a huge fan of, but give credit to Conte. He's, for me, the manager that got the best out of Lukaku. That season for Inter where they won the league, Lukaku was a freight train. The guy could not be defended by anyone. So I'm going to give you guys a poll.
This is that Liverpool v Chelsea 2022-23
It's a mid-off.
Type fixture, man.
Brick for brick. Let's have a mid-off. Who's better?
Bro, I can't lie. There was a once upon a time, there was once upon a time that Lukaku or Harry Kane was a serious debate.
Absolutely.
And even was it Daniel Sturridge, I think, might have been in that debate, but he was always injured and stuff. But Sturridge was always the one that was like, if he stayed fit,
Yeah.
He'll be better than Kane. I was never on that.
I'll say this too, guys.
Train,
People will remember Lukaku's recent blunders for Belgium in the World Cup and like for United. He's obviously every time you see him, he's like hands on his heads. But let's not forget Giroud also for Arsenal, bro. Ozil's career highlights for Arsenal are basically Giroud messing up his assists. I know. Every Arsenal player's highlights from those days is Giroud messing something up, bro. Like, let's not forget that tie against Monaco. Giroud, bro, shit the bed that game.
It's crazy.
So I think they both have their highs. They both have their lows. This is probably an exit for either of them that goes through in the next round. But
I mean, this is the interesting one, man. See, this is why I like this game, because you have situations where Tevez and Kane are out first round, but somehow Lukaku and Giroud make it. It makes it funny.
This is Inter Milan this year, bro.
This is Lukaku. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it is actually pretty close. Fuad Ali with a super chat here. Thank you, Fuad. Says, so what? We're going to forget Giroud's Arsenal career. Yeah, take everything into account, guys. What I will say, Giroud from Montpellier, guys, in Ligue 1, I need you guys to understand how crazy an accomplishment that is, guys. That, for me, is the equivalent of Leicester City winning the Premier League.
Is it? No.
Yes, it is. It's
Leicester's a little bit bigger.
I'm telling you, no. Montpellier, bro, are one of the smallest clubs in France. I don't think they've ever won a league title. They are minnows. And they were up against PSG, who, granted, they were not PSG yet that we know them today, but that's the French equivalent of Leicester winning the league. It was an absolute miracle. And Giroud was at the centerfold. I'm trying to think who else was on that team. Was Cabella on that team?
Cabaye.
Not Cabella.
Was Cabaye there, though?
No, Cabaye came from Lille, I believe.
Yeah,
Cabella, I think, was on that team. Hilton was on that. It was a weak team, bro. It was a mid team, Montpellier. I mean, Ligue 1 was not amazing those days, but that's a major accomplishment right there, bro.
Ancelotti.
Yeah. If I speak, they'll sue me. I won't speak without my lawyer.
Who's winning?
It's
Lukaku.
tight,
It's tight. We'll give it 2 more minutes.
We'll get it to 200 votes.
Yeah, 200 votes. Is that close?
Belhanda. You remember Belhanda?
Oh, yeah. Belhanda, you know.
Kevin,
hey, don't kill me.
I don't think Gamero was part of that team, guys. I can't lie. Gamero, was he part of that team? I think he was part of PSG those days.
Gamero, you know.
Giroud gets more props for 2018 World Cup than Lukaku, even though he got 0 goals. Lukaku was, but come on, Lukaku played against 2 in the first round that England played. The North American team, Panama, bro. Panama and Tunisia. Lukaku, that's
food for Lukaku.
That's open season, bro.
Yeah, Lukaku, that's food for him, man.
Yeah. Giroud's so inconsistent. Try watching him week in, week out for AC Milan. Yeah, but he's also at the end of his career now.
Big up Lukaku, though, for the Inter Milan match that just recently happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Standing up. Yeah, man. Big him up, bro. Because the Quadrado, absolute nerd. You know what I'm trying to say? Lukaku stays repping, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He stays repping. So I got to give him his props for that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He's a G for that, man, honestly.
I believe Lukaku has edged it. 53 to 47.
Listen, guys, these are your votes. These aren't our votes. These are your votes. We're just here. We're just putting it on the plate.
Absolutely.
These are your votes.
Let's send.
But we're gonna have to start skimming through. We've already been an hour in. Yo, this is
I think this is where it usually starts to speed up though. Once we get past the first round, it's not too bad. So team 3, Lukaku. 14 was who? 0.
You know what's gonna be good when we move from strikers? Because with strikers, a lot of the time, you end up talking about numbers a lot.
Yep.
When it's time to get into the nuances of like certain midfielders or defenders or whatever, it'll be nice.
Yeah, that's when you're more talking like ball rather than just numbers. I agree. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you go first for this one.
Yeah. All right. Cool. No, you go first.
Okay. First on the bet.
Why is it always getting so close now? Oh, that's Diego Costa.
El Monstro.
Oh.
El Monstro. Diego.
That's Diego Costa. Yeah. It's a tough one because I think
he'll do. Yeah, he'll do well to get out of this one. I can't lie. Gonzalo.
This might be a good one. I think that's the best match he could have got. I think
that's interesting. That's interesting. There's another name I was looking at in there too, but fair enough. Okay. Diego Costa.
Costa or Higuain?
For me, this is straightforward. Because when you talk about most underrated players of their generation, I think Higuain also enters that conversation for me. Okay. Higuain's goal-scoring numbers are sensational. I believe after Cristiano Ronaldo came, the player with the best goals per minute ratio that played under Jose Mourinho is not Drogba. It's not Ibrahimovic. It's not even Harry Kane, who had a very good season under Mourinho. It's Gonzalo Higuain. Higuain's numbers everywhere he's gone, from Real Madrid to Napoli, to even Juventus, which some people might forget his spell at Juventus just because, like, look, it wasn't his best point in his career, but he still brought them to a Champions League final. I think there was a season where he scored 30 plus, scored in the semifinals to get them through. Higuain is a certified bagsman everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Certified. That season at Napoli is disgusting.
Yeah, but then you know what I mean, that spell at Chelsea and that.
But that for me is the end of his career for me. That's like looking at Costa, his second spell at Atletico Madrid. Every striker for me on this list has a spell like that. We'll talk about Cavani. He's at Valencia right now. You know how many? He's not doing too great over there. Higuain is the biggest. The reason Higuain is not regarded the way he should be by modern day football fans is because of Argentina. Messi fans have tarnished this guy's name because of his blunders in finals against Chile, against Germany in the World Cup.
Conveniently missed out Messi's chance against Neuer in the World Cup and the penalties against Chile.
I'm trying to be fair here, bro.
That's conveniently missed out.
Regardless, that's what's at the forefront of their mind. But people forget that he was the one leading the line for Argentina all those years, getting them to those finals in the first place. It wasn't Messi and just 10 other players. Higuain was holding himself accountable for it. And his record for Real Madrid is amazing. His record for Napoli is otherworldly, and he had a very good record for Juventus.
But
so I always have credit
for his goals and stuff. Why was it always that there was just something about Higuain that you were kind of like, let's keep it 100? Like there was always something about Higuain that you're a bit like.
I'll tell you why.
I'll
tell you why. This is where pretty privilege comes into play. Higuain carried a bit of weight, bro. He wasn't the most in shape. Right, everyone remembers Higuain against West Ham in the preseason friendly, the first game for Juve. Shit. That kid didn't do him any favors, by the way. I think he had stripes.
Burger boy, bro.
Higuain was a big guy, bro.
Bro, literally looked like a kebab.
What's that Anthony Joshua quote where he's like, "I'm big, I'm heavy, I'm 250 pounds. This is hard work." That's Higuain, bro. But this guy knew where the goal was, bro. He didn't always make it look pretty. He wasn't the kind like Suarez who's nutmegging players or Benzema who's elegant and. In fact, that's really who he's competing at with at Real Madrid. But he knows where the goal is. He's got an eye for goal.
And obviously, those misses as well. Those big moments.
It hurts him, bro.
It definitely hurt his legacy, man. And he's up against Diego Costa. Diego Costa. Listen, people always think about the Chelsea Diego Costa.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the 13-14 Diego Costa, who was part of the team that stopped Real Madrid and Barcelona from winning a league? And again, I keep talking about people in their peaks. We lived through the Messi Ronaldo era. Diego Costa got a league title in the Messi and Ronaldo era.
And don't forget the Champions League final, right?
The Champions League
final
goes out
early.
If he was fit, we always say it's an if we never know. But Costa, if he was fit, Atletico took Real Madrid to the last second. If he was there, it could have been even better for them. We know that Diego Simeone Atletico Madrid team was so resilient. They will frustrate the life out of people. They picked up result at the Camp Nou. They picked up result, I believe, that season at the Bernabeu as well. Yeah. If they had Costa, you never know what could happen. We could be talking about
Atletico Madrid Champions League winners, bro.
Atletico Madrid Champions League. And then he went to Chelsea. All while he was cooking at Atletico, Jose was plotting something. Jose knew, I need someone that could come and win me this Premier League. If he comes in, he's going to come and do bits. I just need that one. I'm running around with Eto'o. I'm running around with Torres. I'm running around with Demba Ba. He said, I need that one guy.
Hey, what do you say?
Said, cool.
We're the
little horse.
We need a little bit of milk.
We need milk. Costa said, yeah, all right, I'm the one that they need.
I'm the milk.
Costa, pause a bit. But...
That was not a pause, bro. You did me dirty there.
I'm the milk. Pause a little bit, man. Pause a little bit.
Hey, yo.
Pause a little bit. But
I can't take you nowhere, bro.
But nah, that Costa, when he came to Chelsea, bro, guys, you guys know what the absolute bully mode. Bully mode. He was, I remember that game against Everton. I think that was his first game. No, Burnley, then it was Everton. Yeah. He was a problem. And after that game against Everton, you knew Chelsea are winning the league. You just instantly knew it. You knew Chelsea are winning the league. So we know what he done. Then 15-16, the whole Chelsea team, they took a break. I don't know what they were on. But the next season, again, 16-17, Costa was there again. 20 league goals.
He was amazing
again.
That season. I actually think he was the best striker in the league that year.
Bro, do you remember that goal? This is one of my favorite
West Brom
goals.
one.
No, not West Brom. My favorite goal against Man City at the Etihad. When they ran riot 3-1, Conte.
Just sit down.
Oh my! That is number 9 play, people. Ball over top, chest down. I don't even know who he was playing against. Shrugs, Boom. Diego Costa, bro.
That's true.
Absolute Otamendi. Proper 9.
The one I remember
Proper
though is
9.
the one against West Brom, where he basically gets on his chest,
Mhm.
he's shaking off defenders, left foot, top corner. I just thought Diego Costa at his very
Do a
best,
poll.
guys. Yeah, I'm gonna put the poll up. Diego Costa at his very best. People won't take him over Aguero, and I understand. Like whoever you have him up against, I understand if you don't kind of favor him. But I truly believe Costa at his very best could chat to a lot of these guys. I just think the thing with Costa was he was like a flash in the pan. We saw him for about 3 seasons at his very best. We're talking about 13, 14. We saw him, okay, the poll is up, guys. We saw him 13, 14 for Atletico Madrid. We saw him 14, 15 for Chelsea. And that season, by the way, that's one of those seasons. Like, you look at Erling Haaland right now, guys. The first game we saw of Erling Haaland at City, we all kind of stepped back and said, okay, this is something different. This is something that this guy's going to go and define the league. He's going to go and change. He's a league-defining player. I felt that way when I saw Diego Costa the first time for Chelsea. He was the final piece for that team where everything kind of just came together. So
big up,
14,
man.
15.
These are the ones that we want to see. But from Ian, man. Big up, man.
Big up, Ian.
Big
yeah,
up,
appreciate you,
big
bro.
up.
Appreciate all you guys watching as well, guys. Make sure you
Big
subscribe,
up.
all that stuff.
Who got 5K on TikTok?
Was it you?
Congrats on 5K on
It's probably
TikTok.
you.
I don't even know. I haven't even checked.
But anyways, Costa, that season, he was part of that 15-16 team that kind of jumped ship, got Jose out of there. But 16-17, again, another great season. That's it. 3 real seasons. It was a flash in the pan. But for those 3 years, bro, I put Costa up there with most elite strikers. I think he was that great.
Let's see. Hey, Chelsea fans, man. Come on, man. Rig some polls, man. Where's it? Yeah.
Wow.
You see, this is what I should go into politics. Yo, I can go into politics. I can get you guys to vote for me, man. I should get you guys to vote for me. I can be the mayor. Should I be the mayor of London? There you go, man.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, but Higuain was a goal scorer, but he was a bit underwhelming, man. He didn't come and like give you that feeling. You see what I say? Feel sight.
It's true.
Diego Costa gave you a feeling when you watched him. It was feel sight. With Higuain, the big burger boy, get some goals. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, man.
Costa, don't forget too, World Cup 2018, bro, when he did his thing for Spain. The game that Ronaldo basically went like Super Saiyan mode. Costa was showing me something that game, bro.
He was going hoop.
Costa was crazy. He was crazy that game.
Bucket for bucket, honestly, bro.
Wow. You know, I don't hate it. I like Costa a lot, but I'm surprised. I thought Higuain would have won that.
Okay.
That's interesting. Let me just end this poll then, right? 61-30. That's a whitewash too, bro.
A wash.
Oh, that's when a 7th seed goes and upsets the second seed, bro.
Yeah, that's a wash.
I would have actually probably voted for Higuain, but fair enough, man. Fair enough.
That's a wash, man.
So let me bring you guys back to our bracket. We'll add Diego Costa, who honestly, guys, I was not expecting to be at this point. Fairs. Team 11. Costa, El Monstro, the bully.
My guy that does my TikTok is in the chat.
Yeah, hey, he's the one.
I need you to go clip up that Suarez piece. Go back. Go clip that up. Get to work.
Why do you say thank you for getting
Get to work.
This guy's running a sweatshop.
We got work to do, man.
This guy's running a sweatshop, bro. I can't believe it.
Yo, get to work.
You're right. You're bad-minded. All right. They're saying Costa's the 04 Pistons. I'm weak. All right. Back to, I believe there's 4 more names up. Oh, not this one. Excuse me. Present, share screen, wheel of names. We back. 4 names.
Okay. You go.
First name up. Don't do this yet. Come on. Robert Lewandowski. And honestly, I believe he beats anyone here. So I'm hoping for a favorable matchup because there's one guy I need to see in the next round. This guy, wake the hell up, bro. Please. Okay, thank God RVP is safe.
Boy.
The Mel.
Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. You go do your lower defense league if you want.
I'm not. Hold on. Guys, this is what Cam does if you haven't noticed. Cam loves pitting you. It's us against the world, bro. I'm not a Lewandowski fan about do your defense league.
Go do your thing, bro. You do your thing. Yo, who watched yesterday, by the way?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
what? Who watched yesterday in the 2020s?
Oh man. Yeah, you do your thing.
Oh, I know how this. I know how social media works. Falcao is winning this shit, bro. They're gonna be, hey, Lewandowski's nice, but Falcao.
What was his name?
El Tigre.
Yeah. And they used to play at the El Dragao, innit? The Dragao Stadium.
Porto. All right, Falcao, if you want to talk about feeling, peak Falcao. When is the first time you saw Falcao? Like, properly saw him?
It was...
Because I know
it might have been... It was at Porto.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if it was the 13... Was it 13, 14?
No, 13, 14 was Atletico.
Was it? Then what was
no,
it?
13, 14 was at Monaco even.
I don't remember
the first one was, I think, moment, but it was 10, 11 was
yeah, it must have been.
I think he won the Europa League with Porto in 10-11. He went far with them. And all I know is he went to Atletico Madrid the next season and won the Europa League.
He was the goat.
He was the king of the Europa League. And I remember that. I think he scored a hat trick against Bilbao in the final. Some left foot curler top corner. But
bro, look what he done to Chelsea in the Super Cup.
I was gonna say that's the
and you talk about Lou and Disney, bro.
Hold on, I'm gonna talk about both of them. Falcao, that's the first time I really took notice of Radamel Falcao. That Europa League or that what was it? The Super Cup against Chelsea. I remember watching it. It was in Algeria. It was super late. I was watching it actually at a friend's house. And bro, we just kept watching this guy put goal after goal after goal after goal against the European champions, thinking, bro, is this the best striker on the planet right now?
Yeah.
And I think it's highly debatable whether he was at the point, because there were some top strikers at that point. RVP, who we haven't talked about, Suarez. Falcao was different. But I remember the chip against Barca. The only thing for me with Falcao, and I'll go on to talk about Lewandowski more, did he do it for long enough? Because once that big injury came, when he joined Monaco, and it was actually like an amateur player in the cup who basically broke his career, Falcao was never the same, bro.
I don't remember. Falcao got his trim, cut his hair.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Captain armband.
It's true.
Won the league. Do you remember his finish against Man City?
Little chip.
Come on, man.
It was nice. But
his X factor was beaming.
But let me tell you, me with Falcao, right? The biggest problem, people didn't. Okay, no one knew who I was back when he was at United. When we signed Radamel Falcao, bro, I was such a big fan of this guy. And he was such a dud. But, bro, I'm telling you this on my mother's life. I basically backed him every single game until the last game against Arsenal, where he waved the fans off and we all knew he was leaving.
That header against Villa. That gave me a lot.
Bro,
that gave me an adrenaline rush.
He was awful for United. Like, looking back on it with hindsight, he's one of our worst ever players. The guy ran like a duck that season, bro. It was basically a recovery year for him. Every game I backed him, bro. I said, this is the game he's going to score. Bro, we need to keep him another season. Like, he's going to bet. It just never happened for him.
No, I think, bro, Falcao, man, he still did his thing at Monaco, bro. You look at his numbers there. They won the league in 2016-17. 30 goals that season, 24 goals the next season, 16 the season after that. But obviously, the main focus is probably Porto and what he did at Atletico. But even again, as I said, coming back from ACL to do that with Monaco is great. Obviously, Mbappe takes all the credit and that's his breakthrough season and stuff.
Falcao's numbers this season, Ronaldo and Messi both went for like 60 and 50.
Yeah,
I think Falcao's
he got 24 and 34. He got 36 goals that season. Bro, there was a stat for Falcao. I believe it might have been that season or the season after. He had, how many goals did I just say? He scored 36. There we go. He had 39 shots on target that season. No, obviously he had more shots, but 39 shots were on target and he scored 36 goals.
Killer, bro. He was a gunman. His finishing was cracked.
That basically means when he's got it on target, he's bagging. He's stupid. Bagging. He was a special finisher. And look, I don't know, man. There's something about these South American guys that just move me more, bro.
That's why I loved him, though.
You cool, man. You cool, but Falcao, right foot, left foot, headers. I'm telling you, the way he did it.
Yeah. He loved like a salmon, bro. He was a really good header of the ball, to be honest with you. Let's talk about Lewandowski a little bit, because I know this is, for me, one of the most polarizing players, because when you look at a player with his resume and his goals scored, I think he's the third top scorer in Champions League history. He's even won the competition. He arguably should have won a Ballon d'Or, depending on who you ask. You'd think that a player like that would be talked about in a different light, but I think Lewandowski is one of those players that a lot of people have a very hard time kind of getting along with, like not getting along with, but really appreciating. I think you're one of them that you never really fully enjoy Lewandowski because he scores you goals, and he scores you goals at a historic rate. Like some of his numbers, some of the records that he's set are otherworldly. We're talking Messi and Ronaldo are the only ones better in terms of goals scored in 2010s, I believe. But in the big games, right, when you need someone again to kind of like take over, change the game somehow, if Lewandowski isn't really getting the service, and even sometimes when he is getting the service, he almost seems to shrink a bit. It's like mini-me, bro. Like, what was Skip talking about LeBron that one time? The chosen one becomes the frozen one. I've seen Lewandowski quite a few times, bro, on the biggest stage, kind of come up small, to be honest with you. I've been thinking the World Cup, the Euros, Poland's not a super team, but there have been chances for Lewandowski really to put his stamp on things and be the guy for a minnow, like Bale has done in the past, like other players have done in the past, and he hasn't done it. But at the same time, the numbers are dumb, bro. The numbers are absolutely stupid. I think someone's saying 69 goals he scored in a year. 4 at the Bernabeu, or 4 at the Signal Iduna Park against Real Madrid. For me,
that was what season was that?
12-13.
Was that 2021 that 69 goals in a year?
One of the no, I think it's the year they won the league or the treble. No, 69 goals.
Yeah, 2021 now.
1920.
1920.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But I mean, we think about him at Dortmund as well, winning league titles for them, 4 goals against Real Madrid. I'll never forget that, man. That was crazy.
He was a bully, man. He was a bully in his league.
Yeah.
So Lua was nice, man, but I don't know. There's something about Lua that just
he throws you off.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I can never deny his quality. He's a top quality striker, but I don't know, man. There's something about Lua that I'm just like, yeah, fair enough.
This guy said that Poland talk ain't it. It's Poland, fam. Guys, I've seen players ball out for smaller nations. We talk about Milan.
Haaland's record for Norway is
to be fair, I don't know what Lewandowski's record is for Poland. He might have a lot of goals, but I'm talking about like players performing at tournaments for their country. Guys, not everyone plays for Spain and France, and they still make themselves held accountable. Again, Barros for the Czech Republic. I think of Gareth Bale for Wales, bro. Wales are not a bigger country, a bigger sporting country than Poland. Brought them to the semifinal. He brought them. Yeah. So I'm not really hearing. Yeah, I'm not saying.
I remember Falcao's goal at the Camp Nou. At the Camp Nou.
When he sprinted. Let's be fair, they lost 4-1, I think.
I don't give a damn what they lost.
I'm leaving here with son.
Bro, I don't give a damn what the score was, bro. That's when Messi was OP as well, man. What the hell?
Falcao.
Nah, do you know what?
I think in fact Messi scored 4 goals that game.
Really, see what I'm saying. Lua's peak though, man. Was that a 5-goal thing? How many was it? 5 goals?
5 goals for Bayern as a sub against Wolfsburg.
And that stuff is a joke thing though, but it is what it is. How can you score 5 goals in that? Come on. How can I take anyone serious?
At some point, you gotta put Jordan rules. I can't lie, bro.
No,
Stop giving the ball, bro.
I mean, listen, I like guys that again. You got to give me that feeling. Lua doesn't give me that feeling. He's a fantastic striker.
He gave Pep that feeling. Remember that celebration?
Yeah. He's a quality striker, man. Quality player that can't be denied. But as I said, I like people that give me that feeling, and that's Falcao. But listen, I know who the better all-round career and stuff is.
And Lewandowski too, right? The thing with him, like, it's a bit like Zlatan for me in terms of it's so weird because when you look at Lewandowski, he has the build. He's tall. He's a good athlete. Very good technically. Lewandowski has very good feet. Great with his head. Left-footed, right-footed. He's again another complete forward. I think it's another one just like Zlatan a bit in that you have to play through him. You have to be feeding him chances. Otherwise, he can disappear out of games. He's not like a Benzema. He's not like a Suarez. And I think that's also for me where I'm a bit reluctant to give him too much praise. He is one of the greatest strikers of his generation, probably one of the best of all time. But there will always be ones for me that I prefer watching, that I prefer seeing.
Yeah, that's the same with me. All right, cool.
Let's see what the poll is saying. 79%. Yeah, you tried your best, bro. About
17.
Should I run for? Should I run for mayor?
We're still living through the Lua times. That's why, man. People ain't thinking straight, man. Go and watch Falcao. Go and watch Falcao videos, man.
I think Falcao.
And tell me who moves you.
I think
more.
Falcao was also shrouded a bit in nostalgia, bro. I can't lie. I think we look at Falcao's time.
Falcao was nice. That guy was.
Falcao was Falcao was one of the best finishers of his generation. Bro, Falcao. You know what my dad says? Oh, he runs like a duck. Falcao literally ran like a duck. Bro. I'm pretty sure he was flat-footed. In fact, bro, this guy. Maybe it's United and Chelsea that are kind of fogging my memory.
Who's got up next? Oh, he's got Lukaku. He's trying to sneak his way through.
Lewandowski has. We don't know who Lewandowski has yet.
No. Oh, Costa or Lukaku. Okay,
it'll be Van Persie or Cavani because those are the next 2 names. Hold on. Lewandowski, Falcao, and we have Lewandowski going to the next round. All right. We'll just do it for the sake of it. Who got home court advantage?
Oh, man. RVP.
Oh, Robin Van Persie. My guy.
Van Persie.
RVP. I love him. I'll let you talk about Edison.
Cavani, you know.
Don't exit out of that. Edinson. 2 United strikers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. So, Robin Van Persie or Edinson Cavani? Who would you like to start with?
You can start with. Let's start with Cavani, man. Let's start with Cavani.
Yeah,
Cavani. He's I think he's underrated.
Definitely, I agree.
I think people think it's the RVP. I don't think it's necessary. That's the truth, people.
I agree.
For the whole of the 2010s, what was RVP on after 2013-14?
Not much.
What was he on?
Not much.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite guys. But Cavani, on the other hand, he was doing bits from the beginning of the 2010s. Napoli Cavani, and up until now. Yeah. Well, obviously he just moved, but he scored goals at Man United. Yeah. Bro, the thing about Cavani, though, I'm going to be honest, there was one point in Cavani's career where people were getting fed up with him.
Yeah, because
honestly, bro, it's like, I don't know what hit him. Space jammed him. He became the worst finisher in the world. I swear to you, he became the worst finisher in the world, bro, at one point.
I disagree with you because you say he became, or this is what he was.
Oh, you think he was always that?
Cavani was not a great finisher, bro. Yeah. Cavani's movement is amongst the best I've seen.
Ever.
One of the most, his movement is elite. Mm-hmm. But he creates the chances that he gets because of his movement. He can create a chance out of nothing.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry. For me, it's Cavani. I'm going Cavani.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Cavani.
It's crazy.
Forget about it. And in his celebrations.
All right. Okay, that's another thing. Hold on.
Bro, come on, man. No. Do you know what? For me, I can't lie. RVP's peak, but Cavani, the movement, the goals that he scored. He had a different range. Yeah. He scored headers. Yeah. His consistency. Clears Van Persie.
It's clear. Yeah, it's clear. But it's also he's more this generation than Van Persie.
Yeah, it's the Kane-Zlatan debate, no?
No, Kane-Zlatan is different because Zlatan, bro, let's face it, for 8 years in this decade, he was still peak, bro. Or 7 years for this decade.
Cavani,
hold on.
Battered the Syria. Oh my lord!
Hold on. You gave us a conversation about Falcao versus Van Persie. I can't back up Van Persie.
It's Cavani.
Hold on.
And I love Van Persie.
Let me at least speak about Van Persie. But Cavani, this is where I disagree with you. I think he's just for me he's not mid finisher. He's still a good finisher, but he doesn't stack up to most of these names on this list in terms of pure finishing. But his movement was special. PSG, it's so weird for me. He was PSG's all-time top scorer, but. I remember
Neymar came and rained on his parade.
No, I get that, but I'm telling you, even before Neymar came,
it was a parade in his city.
It was,
and then
bro.
Neymar came
I just remember Cavani missing Cavani against Arsenal, bro.
Yo, he scored 50 goals. He scored 50 goals those seasons.
I get that, and I'm telling you, all I can remember are his misses, bro. Even at United,
I can remember. But you're here bigging out Higuain, you're now a miss specialist, right? But with Higuain, you know the details. Come on,
I remember everything. Nah, Cavani. Let me not be a hater, because Cavani, Lavezzi, Hamsik, that trio was hard.
Bro, guys, come on, let's keep it 100. Van Persie's a better footballer. He was better to watch. We love him. You know what I mean? What he could do.
Well, what about feeling?
Yeah, feeling. No, feeling. But when the consistency is this much, it's hard to do, bro. Van Persie in this, guys. Let me read the number. And if you want perfect, it all started from this decade, 2010-11. I'm just gonna read you his numbers. 33, 33, 38, 25, 31, 25, 49, 40, 23. Yeah, come on.
That's mental.
Come on.
Disgusting.
Look, we're going to talk about RVP 11, 12, RVP 12, 13, end the show. Credits
hold on.
Now the credits come.
Hold on. You know what?
Let's keep it 100.
This is interesting, right? Because I was actually having this conversation.
Even Falcao had a longer period in this.
Don't do that. That's not true.
In the 2010s. What are you talking about?
I don't know if he did.
Falcao would have watched our RVP in the 2010s.
Do you really think so?
11, 12, as I said. And 12, 13.
This goes back to what you
Here we go.
Let me tell you. Let me ask you this. You're the one who's always telling me I'm starting to prefer the way I view footballers now. It's more so give me the peak. Who was better at their best and gave me that feeling rather than, think about it.
What makes Van Persie's peak better than Falcao's peak?
Van Persie was a better footballer, bro. In terms of, he was matching him in goals. Van Persie at Arsenal in his first season at United was matching him in goals, and he was giving you a whole lot more in terms of overall.
That he went on and we got knocked out of every competition.
If we go through Falcao, you don't tell me you can't find one 11-game drought. We say 11-game drought because we watch Van Persie every single week in front of our TVs. Every striker goes through an 11-game drought, bro. Every striker goes through
you're telling me Van Persie 2 seasons?
He had 3 seasons for me. Van
What's the
Persie.
third one?
10, 11, 11,
11
12,
was
12,
calm,
13. That's 3 seasons
And
right there,
how
bro.
many did
And Van
Falcao
Persie, huh?
Falcao had more.
Anyways, he's not up against Falcao. He's up against
I'm just
Cavani.
saying. Falcao
Falcao
would have
for
gone
me,
down. But
Falcao
Cavani,
had about-
I'm giving you 10
Falcao had
seasons.
about 3 seasons as well, bro. Even that.
I just gave you 10.
Those
I
are
just gave
Cavani
you.
seasons. You gave
No,
me.
I'm talking about Cavani now.
Is it Falcao or Cavani?
No,
bro?
I'm just saying Falcao would have got him down. I'm just saying.
I would have
But
taken
I'm
Van
saying
Persie over Falcao,
10
bro.
seasons.
Yeah.
10 seasons right there. Because we can't even, if you're talking about Falcao, he didn't do much in Champions League. We know
Is
he's
it
a
10
European
seasons
player.
for Cavani? No, it's not.
Bro, 1, 2, 3,
8,
4, 5,
hold on.
6,
Yeah,
7, 8, 9.
I'm thinking we're still in the same decade. Oh, I was thinking like this is never mind.
Cavani. Bro, come on, people. Don't be trying to call me prem bias this whole show, and then all of a sudden you're going to tell me Van Persie over Cavani
So
in the
you're
last
taking
decade.
Cavani at his best or RVP at his best? Who are you taking?
At their best.
At their absolute best. I'm taking RVP, bro.
Yeah, but you're talking about consistency and level, right? That's what we talk about in this thing. Well, who was
We-
the better?
we take
who was
every-
the-
we
who
take
was-
everything
yeah,
into account,
of course,
bro.
But we're saying who was the better striker in this decade? It was Cavani.
Cavani marks this decade more because he plays more years in
Bro,
it. Yes,
in a decade that we just said he
but-
became the all-time scorer of,
Right,
his,
but my-
of PSG.
Yeah.
In this decade,
I get it,
didn't
yeah.
stretch from 08, 07. From this decade,
I
he
don't-
became
here,
the
hold on.
all-time scorer
Siri
of
says,
PSG.
Siri says consistent. It's not consistent. It's longevity. It's not even.
This
It's
is
not even
longevity. Not when you're doing numbers like this. Longevity is
Yeah,
like,
no, but it's not.
you had some mid-years and then you
No,
still...
but no.
Nah,
But
bro.
hold on. Consistency. It's not fair to put on RVP here. He was just older than Cavani. He didn't play as long in this decade as.
Hold
as
on.
Cavani did.
He started washing up though. He just started washing
No,
up young, quite young.
Oh, quite young.
Let's
He's
see.
like 32 years old when he started washing up, bro.
All right, now if I had told
How old
you...
is Cavani right now?
Hold on. If I had told you about Van Persie's
Hold
tech,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would always think he's somebody that would age well. Would he not say that? Just
He had
because he's a bit-
injuries though. Cavani's injuries. If anything, I would say Cavani would age better than RVP. Because Cavani,
What?
yes, absolutely, bro. Because Cavani is not somebody who's picking up the ball and
No.
dribbling past players.
Hold on. First of all,
no.
you're talking about Persie like he's R9. He's not R9. Secondly, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Let me land. Secondly, Cavani, the reason why I can see that he won't age him, because you got to think about it. Well, which he did quite
Let
well.
me run
at
the
Man
poll,
United.
actually. Hold on.
You
Let
got to
me-
think about his movement was based off a lot of explosiveness, bro. The way his
I think it's intelligence. I don't think it's explosiveness. It's intelligence, bro.
You're mixing up his movement with Van Nistelrooy's movement. Van Nistelrooy
Nah.
it's Cavani.
Cavani's movement is also
It's
intelligent.
Come on, man.
This guy's gonna jump out of his seat, bro. Oh my
Come
god.
on. What?
I'm gonna give you guys the poll, guys. We're gonna argue this a little bit more, but I can tell you guys are itching to get involved. Let me speak more about Van Persie before you completely skew the results of this poll and push it towards Cavani.
Van
We're talking about Van
Persie,
Persie now.
yo.
Shush. You talking about
wait.
Cavani.
You didn't answer my question.
Yeah,
though.
go ahead.
You would have expected RVP to be one of them players that age like fine wine.
No,
right?
I told you I
He
wouldn't.
was
RVP's
he was
injured.
washed
No,
after
no,
the
but
Moyes
there's a
season.
reason
and
why.
even in the Moyes season.
There's a reason why. It's not because of his He had injuries, bro. RVP's injury record was awful. He's one of the most fragile players of his generation. Fact. Cavani, for me, aged better, and I always thought he would age better because he's not someone that needs to really pick up the ball and drive past players. He's not someone who's barging into players. His movement and his intelligence, for me, is what made him such a great goal scorer. Let's talk about Van Persie now for a second.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Because
Special player.
Van Persie for 2 years especially. I actually think Arsenal, he was better his last 2 years at Arsenal than he was at Man United. For those 2 seasons, before Kane came in, and he had that season where he outscored Messi and Ronaldo, you could make the argument that maybe Suarez too. Van Persie had one of the best individual seasons or even years for a Premier League striker. He was carrying that mid-Arsenal team to the top 4 when they had no right to be in there. Let's be real. Spurs had a better team. City had a better team. They shouldn't have been in those conversations. Van Persie was the one star that stayed after Fabregas and Nasri. Then he comes to United.
In that 10-11, he got injured.
No, he got injured at the start, and he came back, and that's where in the year of 2011, I think he even broke Thierry Henry his record of most goals in a Premier League year, a calendar year.
I think he got Shearer.
Shearer's, yeah, he broke that record. Then he comes to United. And United, we all remember the story in 11-12. Let me finish. Yeah, in 11-12. City.
Watching you closely.
Watching me closely how? City wins the league in 11-12 on the last day. Rooney did all he could for that year. But that United team, bro, let's face it. You look at that squad. People are even saying it on Twitter those days. How the hell were they competing for Premier League titles?
He could have still been carrying. He could have still done more next season.
What, 12-13?
We're
not there yet. Stop trying to fast forward, bro. Stop trying to bring your own legends down, bro. Van Persie, 12-13, Robin Van Persie. I was reading something about Shinji Kagawa because I was wondering where the hell did he go. He even said it. I didn't have a great year in 12-13. In fact, United weren't that good. He said even United, we weren't even that good. It was Van Persie, 26 goals, carry job at the Etihad, last minute free kick. Go to hell, man. This guy's unbelievable, bro. You see what this guy will do to win an argument. He'll go up against his own legend. I'm disgusted, bro. I'm disgusted, bro.
Listen, let's keep it 100. You just said Diego Costa was 3 seasons. So that has to tax it.
And he won. He won the debate.
Yeah, but who was he up against?
Higuain. Who you can? I would put Higuain and Cavani in the same conversation.
No, you won't.
Yes,
bro.
I would.
No, you won't. No, you won't. No,
Yes,
you won't.
I would, bro.
No, you won't.
Yes, I would, bro. Yo, take over this. I gotta go get my charger.
Listen, well, how do I check out what the votes
Hold
is?
on.
Yeah?
So you just scroll like that.
Okay.
Let it go for a bit longer. Wait,
Cavani.
Hold on.
Cavani. But
Bro,
let it
it's
go
about
for a bit
30
longer.
votes. Get it to 200. I'll be right back.
Listen, people, look.
Don't try and skew my audience, man.
Listen. I love Van Persie, yeah? Literally, what he did for Manchester United, yeah, moved me. I haven't seen a carry job in the Premier League like that for a long time. You know what I mean? One man just taking a guy to a title because that Man United team was mid. However, we're talking about pure consistency. We have to keep it 100. Cavani is probably a top 5 striker in his decade, bro. Like, the numbers that I just read out to you. What? And the way he done it. The guy was a special player, bro. People can't act as if like, oh, Cavani was just some scrub. He was doing nasty things for Napoli. That original Napoli team, before we started seeing this Osimhen team and stuff, that original one with Cavani, Lavezzi, Hamsik. Come on, man. Come on. You guys got to behave, man. You guys got to behave. Let me see what... Oh, yeah, bugged out.
Production hype.
I bugged out. How do I go to the poll?
1 second. I'll show you. I leave this guy alone for 5 seconds. He gets himself out of the stream.
Look at bro. Come on, man.
Hold on. I'm not even done with Cavani, bro. Hold up. Production hype.
All right, wait.
Hold on.
Bro, the guy scored over 300 goals in this decade.
He
scored over 300 goals in this decade.
How many has Higuain scored, by the way, in this decade?
I don't know, but how many has Van Persie scored?
Cavani. Let's also not forget Cavani was playing out on the wing for Ibrahimovic. Let's also not forget when they gave him the keys to PSG once Ibra left. That season between Neymar and Ibra, started up front. They lost the league to Monaco.
Who?
PSG. Under Cavani's reign,
generational talent.
They lost to 18-year-old Monaco.
Who was the Monaco striker?
Radamel. Okay.
Oh, you see what happens, people. You see what happens.
This guy is shameless.
You see what happens. Now you want to prop.
This guy is shameless.
You want to prop falcao now. Go on.
This guy is shameless,
you see,
bro.
Guys.
Cavani and Unai Emery is 2 guys choking a league title to Monaco, bro. That's shameless, bro. They needed Neymar. They needed Zlatan.
Listen, let's see who wins. Thank you.
Wow, people, I'm disappointed.
You know, I love Van Persie, man.
I think you skewed the results for this, bro.
I did not skew.
You made this. You made this rather than a Cavani prop. You made it Van Persie hate.
Nah,
your own club hero.
I love Van Persie.
I don't think. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want to hear that anymore.
I love him, but come on, I'm an honest guy.
I don't want to hear. I love Van Persie.
I love him, but we're talking about honest guy. All right, cool. What's the next? Oh yeah, that's it.
So let me bring up the. I'm sick, bro. RVP, man. RVP, man. Never in a million years am I taking Cavani over peak.
Oh, you see, that's the thing. If we're not doing peak, if it was just who you want peak for peak in every conversation, then it's different.
Nah.
But we're talking about who's the best strikers of the decade. Cavani was the best striker across the decade. He scored over 300 goals in this decade. He was the better striker. I think he didn't even win. No, I don't even know if they won. Didn't he become Uruguay's all-time top goal scorer as well?
I don't know. I think that's still Suarez.
I think Suarez might have broke. I'm sure Cavani got.
I think they go brick for brick with those two, bro. They go goal for goal.
Come on, man.
I'm sick, man. Okay, let me bring you guys to our next round. This is where for me, it starts getting a bit more straightforward.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Benzema versus. What time is? Oh, I've been going for. Okay, an hour and a half. The next one, Benzema versus Aguero.
Coming on FTBL culture now. Don't kill me.
RVP.
Hey,
just know.
Guys, wait until
you can come on 8. You can come on 8 p.m. in Europe, bro. You're welcome on my show.
Wait until you see what's coming on FTBL culture.
Yes,
let me tell you that. Wait. Just watch where you see what's coming next. I ain't even told you.
Hey, I was gonna say.
I ain't even told you.
Hey, you gotta.
See, I'm playing. I'm making moves. You know what I mean? While you're sleeping, you know what I mean? Sitting around doing this, I'm out here making moves. That's the thing, Diaz.
RVP, I'll hit you up for 8 p.m. in Europe. You can come on my watch. This guy can get Cavani or something like that. All right, next up. Big body Benz versus Kun Aguero.
I'll be honest. 2010s, I'm going Kun.
Really? I don't think that's ridiculous to say, to be honest with you. I think both have a good case. Benzema versus Sergio Aguero, guys.
It's hard, man, because it's so hard because here we're talking about a ruthless goal scorer who had the whole package as well.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about a player who was more of the all-round baller. Oh, it's hard.
Oi.
This one's damn tough.
Oi.
Woo.
During 2010s, Benzema, 241 goals, 128 assists. Aguero, 281 goals, 79 assists. Benz was the second option. All I'm saying.
Aguero, 281. Oh, 128 assists is crazy. But
Hey,
one thing I would say,
as a second option.
One thing I would say though, yeah, with assists, assist is one of those
I'm looking
stats,
at the goals too, bro. He
yeah,
only has 40
no,
less
but I'm
goals.
just saying, assist is one of those stats where like I need to see what the assists look like because some of these assists are fugazi, bro. A lot of guys get fugazi assists.
Yes, Sarah, we are not counting the 2020s. It's only the 2010s.
No, yeah, it's only the 2010s.
I don't know.
Okay, so we don't want to do in their peak. In their numbers, Aguero's numbers are better in terms of goal scoring numbers. And then what do we then reduce it to? You want to say in their peak in the 2010, you can only have one striker. I'm taking Aguero.
Aguero in Europe though, it's shaky. But you know what?
That's one of my favorite footballers all time. So I ain't mad at this one. But I love Kun Aguero too.
That's tough, bro. Because again, Benzema's game is just more than numbers. But Aguero is not one of those strikers that is disappearing if he doesn't score a goal. He's still a handful. He's still causing you problems.
I think Aguero suffers from Man City tax a little bit.
They're saying Benzema was that sideman you were talking about the other day.
Boy, you like sidemen now, yeah? You like second options.
Aguero!
Yeah. One thing I'll say is that
Let me go.
Aguero, I think he gets a little bit of Man City tax because I think if Aguero did the exact same career
for United,
for Manchester United, he'll be called a GOAT.
It's true. It's actually true. City fans, get your support up.
Bro, you think about it. Who you'd probably say him, David Silva, or Eden Hazard were probably the players of the decade in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'd go Hazard, but Aguero is damn near up there. Yeah.
Come on, we're talking about a special player. We're talking about basically the best player in the Premier League of the decade.
AMH goes, he plays for Madrid. Who is bad in Europe for Madrid? Hazard. There you go.
Yeah, Hazard doesn't even play, bro.
Because he's bad. He doesn't play because he's bad, bro.
Based off the 10s. Benzema, it's not, for me, it's not a discussion anymore.
Yeah.
Benzema's solidified. You know what I mean? If you're talking about across a generation, Benzema will be number 2 for me behind Suarez. However, pure 2010s, I might have to go Kun.
Benzema, though, I'm going to look over 38 game domestic seasons, Aguero. In fact, I think Aguero is one of the best league campaign strikers ever, or at least from when I've been watching. Benzema in Europe, though, bro, versus Aguero in Europe. I'm not saying that means everything, right? Because you have to look at the players individually too. But Benzema wipes the floor with him in Europe, bro. Wipes the floor with him.
France, he was doing up cases.
Don't do that. Trying to get the screen locked off, bro. I can't football, bro. I will say for France, though, he never took off for France. So that in that case, yeah. Even though Aguero, to be honest, with Argentina, even though his record for Argentina, goal scoring wise, is great at any tournament, I never remembered Aguero as one of those guys. Benzema's actually
guys. The one thing is, I'm gonna be honest. You guys know I love Benzema, right?
Yeah,
like so much. But let's be real. When we were living through the 2010s,
did we ever think Benzema was
always called a top 3 striker in the world, bro? At his best. Benzema wasn't. He was probably top 5, top 6, whatever he was. Yeah. But Aguero was always a top 5 striker in the world. Every season, you thought that. It didn't change for a long time. It was undoubtedly Aguero's the best striker in the Prem. Who's next? All the time. Obviously, Suarez was there at one point. It was Suarez. But after that, it was always Aguero's like the standard bearer, you know. And if you're better than Aguero, okay, then you're the best. That's how I see it.
I just think, and again, this goes back to the what if, like the whole Harry Kane thing, because we'll never know. But actually, I think you can say you will know, because we saw Benzema after Ronaldo. If Benzema had joined Arsenal that season, where like they were really linking for him to, would he have gone to Arsenal and scored you 25 goals a season 100%. For that team? I think so. 100%. So I think Benzema's a bit of like, he's a victim of circumstance. Yeah. When I say a victim, he's still won Champions Leagues. I don't think he'd change anything about his career. But individually, I think we'd be looking at him a lot different if he was playing for any other team on the planet than Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo.
You look at what Gabriel Jesus is doing right now. He's got 5 goals, and people are talking as if he's R9 reincarnated or 7 goals. So you think about what Benzema was doing at his peak while putting down the numbers. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it would have been scary what he could have done for a team like Arsenal. But
do we let it get to?
Let it get to.
It's close right now.
It's close.
52 versus 48.
It's tough, man. 2010's. Wow, man. Kun Aguero. Wow. Yeah. Listen. I'm Man United. Obviously, we're Man United fans.
He's riding out harder for Aguero than he was for Van Persie.
In the top. Aguero is in my top 5 scariest players we played against.
Definitely.
Every time we played against Aguero, I was like, you couldn't sit down properly. You knew it's gonna come. You knew he's gonna deliver. So yeah, I don't know, man.
You know what's crazy though, right? If in 2030 we decide to do this list again, you're not gonna put Benzema that high in the list of 2020 strikers, because let's say he basically finishes off next season. He only had 3 years. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. For me, why Van Persie should have gone through, bro. Because
please don't compare Van Persie.
It's not about it's not about that. I'm comparing Van Persie to Cavani compared to Benzema versus whoever we'll be comparing in the 2020s. Well, the influence and the impact and the level that Benzema reached in 3 years is more than I reckon any striker this decade, bar Haaland, unless someone else really comes up.
It could end up being Haaland versus Benzema, and then you would take Haaland.
Of course, but that also depends what Haaland does, right? If Haaland continues winning major trophies and stuff like that. But Haaland, I would take Haaland. But if it's Benzema versus, I don't know, who's a big striker, Osimhen, and Osimhen for 10 years of scoring 20 plus goals a season, I'm taking Benzema's 3 years, bro.
Benzema's 3 were peak, bro.
I think you just have to look at it relatively, bro. RVPs were peak.
What was RVP saying in Europe?
So it's peak.
In 12-13,
it's peak.
When we needed
him, a little chip against it.
Yeah, there we go, man.
We're in great. All right, let's see what the poll is saying.
Oh, yo, this is.
All right, Aguero fans, you have 8 votes left to save your boy. I want to go back to it and we'll see. We're gonna give it another minute. You have 8 or so votes to save your boy.
That is crazy.
Yo, 50-50.
Oh, shit.
We're going to 225. 225. Oh, wait. This is an Aguero.
This is 93. We're approaching the 93rd.
The first person who goes to 51%, I'm ending the poll.
Balotelli's on the ball. Balotelli's on the ball. He's about to shoot.
You're saying Aguero made a 10% comeback. The first person to get the 51%, I'm ending the poll. It's Benzema. Big body Benz. Remember, I used to be dusty. Hey, the real prevail. That was a good one, though. That's a good one, though.
Wow.
And honestly, I don't think there's a wrong pick right there, bro. Wow. I think Aguero could have definitely won that, but
wow.
Next up.
Wow.
Luisito.
Wow. City fans, man. You guys ain't as strong as
y'all ain't got the juice like that, man. Y'all ain't got. If it was the other way around, bro, Aguero would have won by 30%. Next up. Luisito.
Damn. Man, Aguero got an Aguero moment on his own head.
Yeah.
Damn.
Good. How's it feel?
Who's this one?
Suarez Ibra.
Suarez Wash.
You want to talk about it a little?
Suarez Wash is Ibra, man. In this, especially in this era. Suarez just washes Ibra, man. Ibra is a special, legendary, iconic name in this sport. But come on, it's big Suarez. You know what I mean? It's Louis.
I have to agree.
It's Louis. Every metric that we want to put for Zlatan, you can put for Suarez. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could do for everything. And you just know Suarez is the better one. That's for me.
Crazy.
Benzema, Suarez.
Lukaku, Costa.
This Inter, Benfica, Milan, Napoli side, bro. You got the big dogs over there, bro.
Lukaku versus Diego Costa. It's got to be Costa, right? It's got to be Costa. Diego Costa versus Lukaku. Here's another one. 3 years versus what?
Nah, yeah, it's not like Lukaku. Don't act like Lukaku's giving us 8 fucking peak years.
I think Lukaku's got more.
Cavani gave us 300 goals. Can you stop trying to do that?
I'm upset that Van Persie went out first round.
Be upset, bro. Be upset.
I got
Diego Costa,
Diego Costa.
This is Diego Costa.
Diego. Oh,
we don't even need. We're not going to disrespect you guys by even putting a poll for these. Loa versus Cavani.
Don't do it. Whoa. Lewandowski versus Cavani. It's Lewandowski, bro.
Put the poll.
We diss Lewandowski.
Put the poll.
Oh, so this one doesn't need a poll.
It's Cavani level.
Chat, if you do this to me.
It's a 50-50 for me.
Were you vibing with Cavani like that at United?
I was vibing. Oh, wow, United?
Yeah.
I thought I liked him the first season. Second season,
he took the piss. Yeah, he took
this chicken, innit?
Right, he also took the piss the second season, bro. He did not want to be.
You were vibing with first season Cavani?
I liked Cavani.
Bro, I love Cavani, man. He's
Yeah, no, I've always liked Cavani, but
his first touch was a bit.
I'm telling you, technically, bro, he was not that great of a footballer,
bro.
Of course. He was just a crazy move.
Okay, it's 50-50 for me, it's all, man.
Nah, Lewandowski wipes the floor of him, bro. In every match. Actually, international football, Cavani was hard. Remember World Cup 2018 against Ronaldo? Knocked him out. Cavani had a few in him, but this is Lewandowski for me. I'm watching the rest of this with bad blood. I know AMH is a big City fan, bro. He's a big Aguero fan.
Aguero, man.
Hey, you should have got your boys in here, bro. That's why we keep saying, share with all of your friends, bro.
Somebody said his. Go, see on.
Huh? The poll?
They say Cavani's getting destroyed.
As he should, bro. As he should. And
you guys have. This is
stop
the
the count.
You guys have made Loa go like crazy on the votes. You're gassing him.
All right, stop the count, bro. That's getting embarrassing, bro. 86%. This is a mismatch. Okay. Lewandowski. Costa made it to the semifinal, bro. All right. Benzema versus Suarez.
I mean, these guys love Benzema so much that they might vote Benzema. At this
let's
point.
Be real. Suarez is the best striker. Is a better striker than 2010's, bro. Surely, right?
Suarez, man. South America, man.
Yeah. No, I just think the 2000. Here's the thing, though, right?
South Americans, when they're good, they're better than Europeans. It's just the way football is, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Unless it was again.
The most talent, yeah, exactly. He's Algerian anyway. He's not European. That's why. The most talented footballers of all time: Pele, Maradona, Leo Messi, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo Nazario. They're all South Americans, bro. They're all South Americans. One question I do want to ask you, because I think this is a whitewash too. I think Suarez wins this. Career. Take the last 3 or 4 years of Benzema into account, because someone made a point to tell me this. Benzema is only 1 year younger than Suarez.
Crazy.
So it's not like Suarez, he just dipped out because he was way older. He's only 1 year older.
Career, I would take Benzema.
You would take Benzema's career over Suarez's career. Go into that.
5-time Champions League winner.
Yeah.
That just said it all.
Really?
I've won the Champions League 5 times. I've scored 90 something. I'm going to approach 90 goals potentially in the Champions League. You know what I mean? I'm carrying the greatest football club in history on my back week in, week out. I'm the captain of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Suarez hasn't had that love out here, bro. He ain't had that. Ballon d'Or.
I think Suarez, though.
Come on. When I'm talking about career, I'm taking Benzema. When I'm talking about who's just better, it's Luis Suarez.
I think, though, if you were to look individually, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because everyone knows Benzema is my guy. But Suarez, to play devil's advocate, you look also individually, the Pichichi award that he won. I don't think even
People
Benzema.
say they won the Copa America.
Yeah, no, 2011 Copa America. He was the best player at the tournament, bro. He was the best player at that tournament. Obviously,
I'd even add that to Cavani's resume.
Side
See what these guys do.
Those days it was Forlan and Suarez. Those days. It was Forlan and Suarez,
bro.
Don't do that, bro. Don't try and shoehorn Cavani in those competitions. That's Aguero. Aguero won Copa America last year too.
Look how you're doing it. Don't do it like that.
But Suarez, Pichichi, and like you said, in the Ronaldo Messi era, I don't think Benzema, even last season when he won the Ballon d'Or, I don't think he was the top scorer in Europe. I think Mbappe scored more goals than him in Europe. Champions League, of course, Benzema, of course, has 5 of those. Player of the Year in the Premier League. I think Suarez, look, I would have Benzema's career, but individually, I think Suarez's career stacks up to almost anyone. And I think some people would make the argument, over Benzema as well. But I agree with
career, I'm taking Benzema. But better is Louis. What are you doing? You ain't even voted. You done the, I don't know. People.
You want a poll for this one? Suarez versus Benzema? We need a poll. They're saying they need a poll. Okay, fair enough. This is democracy, guys. If you guys want a poll, we'll give you a poll. Benzema, Luis Suarez. Who's better? All right, do your thing, guys. I think that's really what's ruining this for me, because if it was actually like the 2020s included, hey, this would be uncomfortable. Bro.
This would be close.
This would be 50-50 for me, bro.
I know what I see. I know what my eyes tell me.
The 2010s, I think it's one man and one man only. Suarez is bigger than football. El Pistero, no poll, I beg. Benzema got carried to 2 of his Champions League. I don't care.
What's it carried?
They're saying Suarez is killing him, bro.
Yeah.
Stop. He's already dead, bro. Luisito El Pistolero is into the next round. We'll give this one to Luis Suarez.
But we didn't even give Forlan. Oh no, I forgot in the
Forlan
2000s. No, because I'm saying we didn't give Forlan his credit.
I don't think we gave Forlan enough credit in the 2000s, to be honest. I think
you let.
No, I said I would have taken Forlan over Zlatan. It's the poll that voted for Zlatan. Costa versus Lewandowski. We got to do a poll for this.
Costa Villa. I'll go. I'll let
Whitewash. Lewandowski. And this kind of goes to the final. I think most people expected, to be honest. Wait, you didn't expect this?
No, I didn't expect this.
In the 2010s, for me, this was clear, bro. Lewandowski versus Luis Suarez.
It's a mismatch for me.
Really? You're not even going to entertain it.
You guys can entertain it, but what's Lua got over Suarez? What, just sheer velocity of goals?
Yeah, the number of goals.
I dare anyone on the planet to put peak Suarez in the Bundesliga. Oh my!
Peak Suarez in the Bundesliga. How many goals is he scoring?
Bro, he might give me 8 year season. Yo,
Kobe.
Yo,
he gonna drop 81.
He's gonna rival Messi 73.
Mad.
He's gonna. Bro, what is peak Suarez? You even 15, 16 Suarez or 13, 14, whatever Suarez you want, he will. Oh my God, he will rewrite history, bro. Nah, come on, man. I don't care what no one says.
You remember the other day in the All-Star break with the NBA, they were asking the players, how many would you score in a high school game right now? And who was it? I think John Moran said, I'm dropping 100. Luis Suarez is dropping 100, bro.
Bro.
Luis Suarez is scoring against Hitzelsberger or whatever his name is in Schlotterbeck, and every goal he's going like this to them.
Bro, come on, literally. Ain't no Steven Gerrard saying Loa is the best player he's played with. He's still running with Fernando Torres or something, man. I'm telling you, bro. Suarez.
Oh, wait, Thomas Muller. Is he feasting with Suarez?
Come on, feasting. Bro, Suarez is the top assister himself.
Yeah.
In the second top assister of all time.
That'd be hard. Suarez and Muller up front.
Suarez.
Oh my days.
Come on. All right, cool. Let's give it.
Let's do it a poll.
Suarez ability or Lua?
Suarez.
X factor. Lua, Suarez.
Suarez.
Better to watch. Lua, Suarez.
Suarez.
Better goal catalogue. Lua, Suarez.
Suarez.
What are we doing? So we're just going to basically say what? Champions League record then? Yeah, all right, cool. He's got it.
That is something for me, though.
They both won one. How many Champions League final goals has Lua got in the final?
0.
Oh, yeah. So you can have your numbers. When it got there, Suarez scored. He delivered. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Arun for the super chat. Thank you, bro. That is something though that it left a bad taste in my mouth for Suarez. The Champions League record. It's for a player that good, and he doesn't have the R9 excuse that he just wasn't playing in it that much. His record in the Champions League is shocking, and not only that, his away record in the Champions League, bro. It's almost unbelievable for a player of that caliber.
But I'm telling you, when you look back at a lot of these legends, every legend has a black mark to their name.
Yeah.
Every player, if you look closely,
it's true.
There's a black mark.
I think the only one that doesn't have it is Pele, and people just don't want to take him seriously.
Yeah. People don't want to, but even him, they'll say, "Oh, he didn't play in Europe."
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to take him seriously because he didn't play in Europe. But like his career is like perfect.
Yeah, everyone's got a black mark to their name, man. Honestly, you look at Ronaldo's World Cup. knockout round stuff and all that stuff. Everyone's got ones, man. So it's mad. You know what I'm saying? It's mad. Even Messi, Chile.
Let's go see what the poll is saying.
Claiming fake Champions League.
They didn't let you down.
You know what I'm saying? You know Messi in it.
I'm trying to change the subject, bro. I don't want to talk about Messi. I didn't let you down, though.
Yeah, come on, man. 79%. Guys, get to 89%.
Lewandowski's Disney run to the final.
Well done, Suarez.
They're saying Pele hasn't won a Copa America.
Yo, who won our 2001?
Henry, yeah.
These are two of the best strikers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Those are the two. If from the totalities of their careers that I've seen, these are the two best strikers I've ever seen.
Taking Dortmund to a final is a big achievement, plus 2 leagues with them. Yeah, for sure.
Hard. Nah, I've been messing around, man. Lewis hard.
Lewandowski beat Suarez 8-2. Did Lewandowski score in that game? No, he scored 1. He scored the 7th goal that game. Or the 6th
No, Lewandowski beat Messi 8-2.
He beat Suarez 8-2. In fact, though, that game, I think Suarez and Lewandowski scored the same amount of goals.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Look, Suarez, how many did Messi score in that game?
Shut the hell up, man. Hey, yo. TSC goes Lewandowski to win La Liga in his first season. Cam shush.
Yeah,
bro,
Benzema got 2 less goals.
If Benzema was fit this whole season, Barcelona wouldn't have won the league.
Yo, I said Barcelona fans want Loa out. I've been seeing some craziness. There we go. Yo, you see Loa at Old Trafford? Come on, get the hell out of here, man.
Hey, Lissandro ate Lewandowski for dinner, bro. Man. My God.
Come on, that was good. Hey, guys, people, let us know what other ones.
Hold on. 2000's Henry. 2010 Suarez. That's tough, bro. That's tough, bro. Me personally.
This is basically just a debate between Henry or Suarez, then.
Do we save that for FTBL culture? A different one. Oh. And Henry versus Eto thing. Yeah, we'll save the content.
You're trying to get 2 hours in.
Shout out for the vid idea.
Yeah, man. Yo, give us what your next.
Yeah, what else do you guys want to see us do
next episode? The thing is, though, I really don't want to do any that actually have Messi and Ronaldo involved.
Yeah, we won't do anything with Messi and Ronaldo. I agree.
Because it's just, you know what I mean? It's too easy. It's too much.
AF.
Nah. Probably gotta be CMs, man.
CMs is probably next step. Yeah, we'll find something for sure. Everyone is saying Suarez racismo hype.
You say?
Someone said racismo hype for Suarez. Yeah, Suarez wiped the floor with this one, man.
What was Henry on in the 2010s those days, isn't it? Remember
Henry in the 2010s?
The back end of thing where he was cheating, in it, in the back end of 2000.
That was 2009. Henry, yeah. 2010, bro. He was playing for Red Bull.
Everyone hates Suarez's handball, but
he's the OG.
You see, it's uncomfortable right there.
Yeah, Suarez spent the 2010s in New York, bro.
What's the bigger cheat, Henry's or Suarez's? Henry handballed it and got an assist.
No, it's Henry. Henry is the bigger cheat, bro. Suarez. Hold on. Suarez got penalized, bro. I hate that argument. Suarez didn't cheat. He didn't get away with it, bro. They red carded him. Henry said first in the World Cup, bro. I hate when people talk like that, bro.
And Henry was all like talking to, I think it was Richard Dunn afterwards, and like, he was all like,
if I were Richard Dunn, I would have smacked him
in the
face, bro.
Bro, I'm sorry, like, had to do what I had to do.
Bro, people still try. It's Ghanaians, bro. It has to be. How are you still trying to say Suarez cheated, bro? Y'all got the penalty. He got sent off.
Willian type beat, you know what I mean?
Now, Henry, the more you watch it too, the more egregious it looks.
Yeah,
bro.
Irish
this
people,
guy slapped the hand down.
I wonder if there's any Irish people in the chat.
Yeah, let us know.
That's crazy, bro. Because imagine if there was VAR. Ireland are in the World Cup.
It's true.
Mad little things like that. You know what I mean? Imagine if there was VAR when Maradona did the handball.
It's true.
But then there's some times where you look at some things and you just think VAR has robbed us from some amazing moments too. For example, like Sterling against Tottenham. Like, that was mad. Like, there's so many moments VAR robbed you, but there's also moments in the past that for example, the ghost goal, Luis Garcia versus Chelsea.
This is my theory. I believe that before the VAR came in, almost every single Champions League winner would have been different in the age of VAR, bro. I was watching Real Madrid versus Bayern in 2016-17, where they won, I think, 4-2 in the Bernabeu. Vidal got suspended. 2 of Ronaldo's goals are offside. One of them, bro, I forgot how offside it was. Bro, the defender is here. Ronaldo is literally here. It's offside. Even Vidal shouldn't have been sent off for that foul. I look at Barcelona in the Stamford Bridge. The completely. I think of Van Persie against Barca. I think of almost every single Champions League win I can think of has been shrouded in like shady officiating. To be honest with you.
In 06 Barcelona with the Lehmann situation, I don't think VAR would have sent
people to advantage.
Yeah, I swear I told it was the offside as well.
I don't know. I can't remember that one, to be honest with you. But no, I truly believe every single Champions League or almost every one of them, it would have looked different for me, bro. So VAR, I'd rather have it, to be honest with you, even though it does take away some of the dramatic
definitely
stuff.
That 08-09 one. Oh my, Messi would have had 2 Champions Leagues. That's peak.
Maybe he would have won a different one. Maybe you would have won a different one, bro.
Nah, which one? One where you get lost 8-2, or the one where you lost 3-0? Or which one?
I was about to sign off. It's not even my own show. I can't even sign off.
Which one would he have won?
Don't worry about it.
Come on, man. You wouldn't have won any other one.
Don't worry about it, bro.
You got 2. In fact, Inter would have at least had 11 men on the pitch.
Lies was born in 2005. Do you really believe that, bro? 2005. 2005.
Okay. Anyway, I prefer football without VAR. You can't even celebrate goals anymore.
But don't you prefer?
How many times have you gone on Twitter?
Okay,
Rashford!
This is the social media fan, bro.
No. Even the excitement, bro, of the game, VAR has killed the game for me. It's a big part of why my viewing experience of football has reduced, as feeling has gone down.
I don't think so. I don't credit to that. I actually like the fact that I never feel my team got cheated. Like
VAR still makes you get cheated, bro.
Not as much as they used to, bro.
Oh, bro, nah. VAR still gets you, nah, man.
Not as much as they used to. Bro.
You still get good decisions with VAR.
Do you think Nani gets sent off with VAR?
Bro, that was a red card.
You think so?
Yes, bro.
Nah, his eyes are on the ball, bro. VAR would have.
Your eyes are on the ball, but why are you, bro? The guy.
What if Zidane does it? It's elegant. It's what a touch.
You know what?
Like a ballerina.
Zidane has awareness to know there's not player flying in the air.
Came out of nowhere, bro. Nani can't control that.
Nani's was a red card.
I don't know.
Nani's was a red card, man.
I don't know about that.
Nani, he came. Arbeloa was smart that he came with his body. If Arbeloa came with his foot, they're good. But Arbeloa came with his body, so you fly kicked his chest.
This is why I don't like this rule. Say Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Juventus.
Yeah.
Let's say Bentancur goes and puts his head in there. And
no, Michael Richards did with Wayne Rooney's.
No,
his head there.
No, but he didn't get hit.
Yeah.
My point is, let's say
Ronaldo booed his head off.
Let's say Ronaldo scores the bicycle kick and the follow-up boots Bentancur in the face.
Contact with the ball first.
I'm pretty sure Nani, bro, touches the ball and then
were in his chest, bro.
I know what happened. This guy's trying to recreate it with me, bro. I know what happened, but it's just it's your follow through, bro. Nani can't trap the ball and then pull his leg back.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
We got robbed, bro. We would have won the Champions League that year, bro. RVP would have won a Champions League. I wouldn't have had to deal with this Cavani nonsense.
Yeah, how many goals did RVP score up to that point?
Hey, he had that against Cluj or whatever it was. Scored on his shoulder. Braga. Hey, I remember that very well.
Listen, guys, we've been here for over 2 hours. I want to go and get some drinks. It's Thursday. So bars close late.
Read the super chat as well.
So I'm out of here. Great vid once again, man. I see you guys get bare necessary hate online, even though you're shining. Keep shining, even though you both don't rate my team. I love you, man. Second game. Appreciate it, bro. Come on, listen. The hate is nothing. There's bare love. The love and hate is part of the thing. Everyone that you watch on TV get hate. You know what I mean? So we're no different. You know what I'm trying to say? It's gonna happen to us. We ain't crying about it. You know what I'm trying to say? As I said, look at one of my previous tweets. My next move might be my biggest move. So
I gotta know what you're talking about now, bro. I tell you my big moves. You don't tell me your big moves.
I'm finalized business first.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got to finalize business first. You got to pray over it. You got to anoint it. You got to call your mom, pray for me. You know what I mean? Pray for me.
Manifestation. Right, fair enough.
Pray for me. You get what I'm saying? So listen, guys. Haters, it don't mean nothing because we're going to keep winning. You know what I mean? We're going to keep
hating, bro.
We're going to keep winning. You know
if you hating now, you're going to be hating a lot more in a few years, bro.
100%, man. 100%. But listen, guys, in the comments afterwards, just drop what you want to see next. Hit the likes, of course, on your way out. That was another episode of FTBL Culture. It's your boy CultureCams. Got Lies out here. Yeah, we're out, man. We're out.
Peace.
Hey, my TikTok manager. Oh yeah. Just go and start clipping.
This guy, bro.
Listen, we're out here. We're out here.